a zone.
Hello and welcome to the Connor Happer Show. I am producer Josh Odson. Connor is out today, not because of the holiday. No, because as you have heard time and time again throughout these weeks, today, not a vacation day. At 1620 The Zone and NRG Media, we are working today because why would we not be? Yesterday was the holiday. We got the day off. Today is not a holiday, so we do not have the day off. Pretty easy, pretty simple strategy. Connor, away on a wedding. He's not his own wedding. He is attending a wedding this weekend. He will be back on Tuesday. I will be here in the meantime, and we've got a lot to do today throughout the show. If you want to get in touch with us, some type of text communication is probably going to be best. You can email us on the 1620 The Zone inbox. It's brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableBank.com there. If you do want to give us a call, you can do that on the Zone hotline powered by 42 Degrees The Source. It's right by your mom's house, of course. You can, like I said, you can email us. You can send us a tweet at Happer Show or my personal at producer_ Josh. That's the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. You can follow the station at 1620 The Zone, the show at Happer Show, or me at producer_ Josh. Today on the show, we will talk to Stephen M. Sipple of Husker Online. We will find out the recruiting wins and losses, the plan for camp, predictions, I don't know, whatever creeps up into my head to ask Steve Sipple between now and 12:30. We will hear a couple, I don't know, best ofs, I guess, for lack of a better term. Some of the better things we've done. I thought about just really leaning into that, and I said, no, the audience would not appreciate that. You need to give as much live and local content as you can. We'll, like the afternoon show today, we'll be doing hashtag topic alerts all day long. So if there's something, I guess it's like a request. If there's something you would like to discuss, you can send us a tweet in, hashtag topic alert, and I will talk to you all as well. For the YouTube streamers, I apologize. Don't quite have the settings right, and I'm host and producer, so I haven't had time to fix those tweaks, but we'll get them fixed at some point during the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, 1620thezone.com, or the newest and coolest and greatest way, zonetv.live. I guess I should have that web address memorized before I say it. zonetv.live. Stephen M. Sipple's going to join us. We will hear again from George Shea, voice of the Nathan's hot dog eating competition that you watched yesterday. Undoubtedly, why would you miss it? And he's also the commissioner of Major League Eating. So we'll kind of revisit the fun of that conversation. Also, we had Jeff Jarrett in studio. We'll hear that probably in the 1 o'clock hour, maybe the last segment of the 12 o'clock hour. Just a fun conversation, not always about wrestling. He, ribbed us about putting all of our hopes and dreams on the shoulders of an 18-year-old freshman quarterback, which he was right to do. Let's be honest. He was right to warn us about putting all of our hopes and dreams on Dylon's shoulders, because 18-year-olds are not often trusted with very much. So I get where my close personal friend Jeff Jarrett is coming from there. I will review the latest Beverly Hills Cop movie, which has maybe the worst title in the history of movies, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Yes, I understand. The beloved theme song of Beverly Hills Cop is titled Axel F. It is an homage to the theme song. I don't care. That's a terrible title for a movie. We'll also do, I looked at the archives. I have not done this, So I would like to do it for everyone here today because who's going to stop me? Top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. We'll do that. 12:45, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. According to my records, I have not on these airwaves done top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. Feels like an oversight on my part. Let's knock that out today. So if you want to get in touch with the show, feel free to do so. Plenty of ways to do that. We say hello to everyone who is working today. That's who we do the show for. If you're not working, you're more than welcome to listen. But please know, the show is not for you today. It is for the working man, the working woman. Also, people driving. You're taking the family on a trip, and you got us dialed in. That's a little bit of work. That's work adjacent, because sometimes those work trips can be daunting. You're driving across the country, kids screaming, "I got to go to the bathroom, Daddy. I got to go to the bathroom, Daddy. Over there. Yeah, can we stop? I want a snack. I want a snack." I get it. So we're here for you today, the working man and the working woman. We appreciate you working. We're working as well. And by we, I really mean me, because Connor is not working, as I have told you. We will dive into some sports topics and sports adjacent topics when we come back. It's the Connor Happer Show. Josh Hodson filling in today right here on 1620 The Zone.
But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, planning a trip to a state park? One of Nebraska's 76 state park lands? Excellent. But don't forget your state park permit, money for camping fees and other activities, a fishing permit if you want to wet a line, and oh yeah, a 6-foot leash for Scruffy, your pet. Thank you, and we hope to see you out there. By the way, you can get all kinds of information on the Nebraska State Park lands through the Game and Parks website. That web address is outdoornebraska.gov. Are you going fishing? I thought so. For proper catch and release fishing this season to ensure fish survival, I want you to remember these important things. Land the fish as quickly as possible. Handle the fish as little as possible. Keep the fish in the water as much as possible. And release the fish as fast as possible. Enjoy your fishing experience, and we'll see you out there. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
$16:20 The Zone. Connor Happer Show. Connor's back Tuesday. Until then, you got me, producer Josh Odson. You can text the show 402-951-1620. You can call it. I won't answer because I'm talking to everyone on the radio right now, but you are more than welcome to call it. Again, we'll hear from Steve Sipple later on in the show. We'll play some of the best stuff we've done this year so far. George Shea, Jeff Jarrett, top 5 Eddie Murphy movies, and a review of the latest from Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Wanted to touch on this story because I feel like it really meets in the crossroads of the Connor Happer wheelhouse, which is, one lane running east-west, which is sports, and the other lane running north-south, which is just, wow, this is absolutely ridiculous. We have to talk about this. ESPN, I believe this was yesterday, put out a comprehensive look at the cafeterias in the National Football League. I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, it's an NFL cafeteria. How much variance could there possibly be? Well, it turns out a lot. If your owner's a cheapskate, if your owner's a bum, they're not going to pay to feed the millionaires. Why would they possibly do that? They gave everyone a grade, every team a grade, and this is sort of an offshoot of those NFLPA surveys we make fun of every summer, where the Chiefs win the Super Bowl year after year, but they constantly complain that their owner is a hardened cheapskate that may or may not have a soul. So the NFLPA report cards for Cafeteria, on-site cafeteria, nutritionist, dietitian, things like that. I guess it's more fun to talk about the teams that did poorly. The bottom 5 is as follows. Bengals finished worse. We'll get to them with an F-. I don't know that F- is really a grade, but growing up, it was always, what'd you get, an F-? It's not a real grade, actually. Once you fail, it doesn't matter how much you failed. But here, everyone was very determined to let you know that the Bengals failed and failed hard. We'll get to some specifics about that. Chiefs finished next to last with an F. Those are the only 2 teams to fail this mythological course that the NFLPA has created. Steelers, shockingly, finished third to last with a D. Bills got a D+. It's amazing that those 4 teams are winners. You would classify all 4 of those teams as winning franchises. And then the Cardinals round out the bottom 5 with a C letter grade. They finished 28th in the league. Top 5 is as follows. The Raiders, A- at number 5, followed by the Falcons and Texans, who also got an A-. You would please call the Texans not winners for as long as you possibly can, because I feel like in a matter of months, we will no longer be able to call the Texans a losing franchise, because they might be good this year, folks. And then the top 2, Dolphins, and then number 1 on the list, the Vikings, both getting A's. A couple of the stories, anecdotes, I guess you would call them, in this piece by ESPN. Who wrote? I want to give them credit. Sarah Barshop. She's an ESPN staff writer. And I'll read a couple excerpts here about the Cincinnati Bengals, who again finished last with an F-. The minus, I feel, is, again, insult to injury. But the lowest scores in relation to food on the survey went to the Cincinnati Bengals, who received an F- in the dietitian and the food and cafeteria categories. In 2022, there were multiple microwaves for Cincinnati players to reheat food they brought from home. Bad luck, but we continue. There's more. Don't worry. The Gatorade coolers doubled as a fridge where players would store their lunch bags. Now, that creates an image, right? When I read the sentence, the Gatorade coolers doubled as a fridge where players would store their lunch bags, I am picturing I didn't play a lot of sports. Shocking, I know, but the gas station Gatorade cooler, the tub, the cylindrical tub that may or may not have a lid, filled with ice, and you just jam about 6 Gatorades on top and you call it a day. That's what I'm picturing. And now, given the sentence again, the Gatorade coolers doubled as a fridge where players would store their lunch bags, I am picturing brown paper bags rolled up and put on top of the ice. Is that what happened? I don't know. I can't say for sure, but that is what my head is picturing when I read the sentence, the Gatorade coolers doubled as a fridge where players would store their lunch bags. The Bengals received an F- in nutrition for that year, too. Shocking. The Bengals do not have a full-time dietitian on staff. 19% of Bengals players reported having an individualized nutrition plan, by far the lowest in the league. Another area in which the Bengals struggle, food options. According to the NFLPA survey, they are one of 2 teams that don't provide 3 meals a day throughout the week. The only day they do is on Wednesdays. Doesn't really say why. I imagine that's a big day in the offices of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati also does not open its cafeteria on the players' off day, even when they come in to do extra work. Players have noted that the food offerings have improved in recent years. So, we're all thinking it. Gee, seems like if you would want your players to succeed, you come in on your off day, you might want to feed them. Like, I understand they're millionaires, they can buy their own lunch, but they're working. You want them working, you want them practicing. You don't want them driving to McDonald's or someplace, Taco Bell, some place with a drive-through is where they're going to inevitably go, because you've made that. And why would they do that? Why would they leave practice or a video session and, drive through McDonald's and get ready for the next meetings? Feels like a bad day at work, so I would just not go. Which is oddly not what the Bengals are choosing to do. Again, the Bengals are a winning organization right now. Now, they may be run like the Chiefs, where the organization wins despite its owner, but they are winning football games when Joe Burrow's healthy, which is a big if, I understand. Now, there's a couple stories in here about the Rams that I want to get to, and then we'll hear from George Shea. We'll talk hot dogs, which is, I'm sure, why a lot of people tuned in. A couple stories about the Rams here that made me scratch my head. The Rams scored below a C. They were one of just 6 teams to do that. They did not make the bottom 5. The Arizona Cardinals did. They scored a C. So, Rams right on the fringe of being very bad in these cafeteria elements, So we have an anecdote here about Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. Oh, we all loved watching Puka Nacua play football, or at least talking about Puka Nacua playing football, because, as I'm sure you've noticed, his name is Puka Nacua, and that's fun to say. So, Puka Nacua does not eat vegetables. Someone in the Rams dietary office listed green onions and asparagus. Puka Nacua interrupted and said, "I don't do any of those." And so instead, he replaces those nutrients from vegetables with nutrients from watermelon and pineapple in the morning to go with his eggs and bacon. Al Michaels famously has claimed to have never had a vegetable in his entire life. No one associated with the Connor Happer show believes in that. But Puka Nacua does not like vegetables. And his response when asked about this, like, "Hey, I heard you don't eat vegetables." He said, "Those are how I get some of my fiber and stuff like that." He's talking about the watermelon and the pineapple. And he ends it with, "Hey, you gotta poop somehow." And I'm like, not getting it from veggies. Which is a hell of a sentence to say to someone. "Those are how I get some of my fiber and stuff like that, because, hey, you gotta poop somehow." And I'm like, I'm not getting it from any veggies. The Rams were one of 6 teams to score below a C, the article goes on. 31st in food taste, 28th in overall freshness. The Rams suffered a bad grade, they believe, because they have not had a permanent food station at their facility for the past 8 years. It's been made off-site and assembled on-site, because they don't have the room, they don't have the space, they don't have the equipment. They are now moving into a permanent facility for their dietary and their nutrition program, so they believe their scores will skyrocket now because they have new food like that. They've got a kitchen, they've got a cafeteria, to where I say, so forgive my ignorance on this, SoFi Stadium doesn't have like a kitchen in there? Looks like a pretty technologically state-of-the-art building. No one thought to build a kitchen? Where do the Rams practice? Again, forgive me, I don't know. They're moving to a big fancy building in Woodland Hills, which I don't really know what that means, but I see it a bunch in the research I did for, like, okay, where do the Rams practice? Because they were on Hard Knocks at one time during COVID. Looked like a pretty nice building. No kitchen, though. But neither here nor there. They're fixing it. So Congratulations to John Bishop's Rams, I guess. I just thought that was one of those stories where the cross section of sports and ridiculousness, not the TV show, the like actual things that are ridiculous, sort of crossed in such a way that I was like, okay, we should probably discuss this on July 5th when there's not a lot of things to discuss. But next we will recap the tradition unlike any other, the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest. Who won? What did Joey Chestnut do in the meantime? And then we will revisit our conversation with the voice of the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest, George Shea. We'll do it all next here on the Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson filling in today on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
How does Host Coffee provide the best coffee for your workplace? By finding the richest and most robust coffee beans from all around the world and bringing them to our Nebraska roastery, where your coffee is roasted fresh and delivered straight to you.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Watching a ball game at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is pretty awesome. Oscar's offers the MLB package, so your team is always on their upgraded audio-video system, and nothing is better than watching the game with a cold frosty one, Oscar's Pizza, or award-winning char-buffed wings. And with daily lunch and dinner specials, it's really a no-brainer. So get ready to watch your favorite team play ball at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and takeout at 162nd and Maple.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
The Storm Chasers travel to Des Moines to take on the Iowa Cubs tonight. First pitch scheduled for 7:08. You can hear all the action on your home for the Storm Chasers, 1290 Coil.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Last chance to stock up for summer. Stampede Ranch Farms has 20 ribeyes for $40. Visit the big truck and tent at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Steak, chicken, pork chops, and seafood. Stock up now at prices on meat you haven't seen since 2019. Bulk family party packs to fill your freezer. Get to the truckload meat sale at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. 20 ribeyes for $40. Huge truckload meat sale is going fast. Huge bulk deals on New York strips, fillets, mega ribeyes, gourmet smash burgers, plus chicken and seafood. All payments accepted. Cash, credit, debit, and EBT. Look for the big truck and big tent and signs that say 20 ribeyes for $40. Plus huge bulk deals on steak, chicken, seafood, and pork. Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Find all weekend for 20 ribeyes for $40 at the truckload meat sale only at Tractor Supply, Council Bluffs.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Women, were you exposed to toxic substances in the military? Then take note of the PACT Act, which expands benefits and care for all veterans once exposed to environmental hazards. For women veterans, such exposure can lead to reproductive cancers like ovarian, cervical, uterine, breast, and others. Learn more at va.gov/PACT.
tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right. Big times in the world of Major League eating. We all focus our eyes and attention on one event every year. That is the 4th of July hot dog eating contest at lovely Coney Island. I haven't checked the weather for Coney Island next Thursday yet, but I'm sure it'll be 130 degrees and sweltering hot while people eat hot dogs. We're joined by Major League Eating's commissioner. He joined us on the show last year, and the guy who gives the best introductions of all time, George Shea, right now on the 42 Degrees Source Hotline. George, thanks for doing this again. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
How excited are you? We're going to get to obviously the newsy part of the hot dog eating contest here in just a second. But have you started to cook up the introductions for next week yet?
Yes, in fact, I'm trying to refine that, and I always try to do some that are funny, and I have to determine whether what I think is funny to other people. So I'm doing that right now, testing some stuff. But I'm all ready for the 4th. I got to memorize everything, but I'm all ready. We're very excited because, last year we had disruption with a massive biblical level rainstorm, and so the crowd. I've been getting lots of emails and texts and stuff. The crowd is very, very excited to go back out there, hoping for good weather. And we have what is going to be a fantastic contest. Obviously we'll talk about the news. Joey is not going to be there, but the consequence of that is a really powerful contest that will be hotly contested. And so people are excited about that.
Okay, let's start with Joey then. So give us your story here, your part of the story on how this came about, because it just all of a sudden got dropped on us one day. We're like, whoa, what's the hot dog eating contest going to be like without Joey Chestnut? Why is Joey not going to be in the hot dog eating contest this year?
Well, what happened was our contract with him sunsetted, and they delayed negotiation or pushed negotiation forward. And when they came to us to figure things out, they had 2 contracts signed with what most people would think of as a conflict. One was with what turns out to be Netflix doing a Labor Day contest, hot dog contest, which is obviously, extreme praise if imitation is flattery. But this is a big one. And then the other one was endorsing a rival hot dog as part of the Impossible suite of plant-based meats, and which was a clear and epic conflict with the exclusivity on hot dogs, which Nathan's has always had in place for 20 years, that Joey's been around in 1920, whatever it is. And so that was a clear, we didn't even know what to do. It was a complete shock. And then we came to an impasse, asked whether he could carve that hot dogs out of the Impossible stuff. The answer was no. So we were at an impasse, and then it went into the media and obviously became a very big story. We continued to negotiate and talk with the team and try to resolve it, and we conceded on everything. We conceded on the exclusivity thing. We said, you know what, fans want you, we want you, we concede, you can come anyway, and we still couldn't come to an agreement. So, I can't say, Joey's got his side of all of this. Joey is a terrific guy, and a great champion and an American hero, face of 4th of July. And he's chosen to go eat with the troops at Fort Bliss in Texas on the 4th of July. And, if he's not with us, obviously I would always want him with us, but if he's not with us, that's what a great thing to do, celebrate the armed forces like that. So we support that 100%.
So what will this event be like without him? You touched on it a little bit. It's going to be probably a little bit more hotly contested, but he is now, he's won, I think I was just counting up before he came on, 16 out of 17 times and 8 in a row. Yeah. And he's kind of lorded over this entire thing. So what's it like without him as in the first go around here?
Well, look, he can eat, in the mid 70s, right? So he's so far ahead of everybody. He's 20 ahead of everybody effectively. He's just a dominant figure, and he is associated with this event, and he's associated with dominating the event. So losing him and not having him there is a loss, right? Like a lot of people, it's almost like a rite of passage on the 4th of July where they just watch him do his thing. And we recognize that, and we wish he was there, and he's always welcome. But since he has chosen not to be there, that puts us in a position of having a really competitive event. And, I've heard a lot from folks saying, look, I'd love Joey there, but since he's not going to be there, this is actually way more exciting. And what we have in front of us is Jeffrey Esper, number 2 ranked eater, 51-ish hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. Patrick Bertoletti, whose personal best is 55. That was several years ago. Nick Werry, whose personal best is 48. And then James Webb, who is ranked number 9, but he's I'm sorry, strike that. He's ranked number 5. He's absolutely a fast-rising rookie. He's amazing, and I expect him to be in the 50 to 55 range. So really what you have is a really tight range, a tight race between at least 4 people, and maybe more, because King Yamamoto from Japan, I think, could really be right there. We have 6 international eaters coming, and King Yamamoto might well be sort of a dark horse.
So and that's the other thing here. Like this event has grown exponentially over the last 20 years, or 20 plus years now. I would imagine that everybody, regardless of whether Joey's there or not, or Kobayashi's there or not, people are like, yeah, I got to be in this one, and they view it as an opportunity to say, all right, I could do this now on the biggest stage that I'm going to get.
Yeah, I think I have to tell you, none of the eaters obviously expected to hear the news with Joey. And, I think many of them are like, okay, wow, this opens up a path to hold the mustard belt and be the champion. And I think they're very excited about that. And I suspect that while they were all preparing, they were doing so knowing that they were competing against a group of people for second or third or whatever. Now they're competing for first. So I suspect the intensity has increased.
What is the theme of is there a overarching theme of the intros this year as we've kind of mapped it out and you're starting to get into the memorization portion of what you're going to do in your prep?
That's exactly right. And, look, I try to always make a mix, right? They can't be all heroic, and they can't be all funny, and they can't be all straight, right? You have to sort of mix it all up. And, the capper of the intros has always been, or has been for the past 15 years, I guess, bringing out Joey to what is just an, absolutely over the top epic introduction. I didn't think I had written Joey's introduction, but I don't think it's fair to just pop that onto, the number 2 ranked eater and sort of okay, well, he gets that big intro, because I think to earn that, you kind of have to win the contest. So, there won't be that sort of just absolute over the top, because I just don't think it works. It's not out of respect for Joey, although certainly, it's linked to that. It's really, I don't think it works to have someone who's never won get that Joey intro. But I have a lot that I think are funny, and I don't want to do too many funny ones. So I have to sit down with my trusted advisor, Sam Barclay, who's a really funny and brilliant guy. And he kind of goes, yay or nay.
And then it kind of just goes from that. Like, he gets the ultimate say, and then you have an idea of which way you're going to take it. He gets yes or no, and then it's out there, boom, on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to talk with him again today or tomorrow. Share everything with him, and then what he says is that's not going to work, or this is going to work better than that. And sometimes he's very funny, and he'll say, well, extend this, or what I'm saying. But really, what I'm looking for is that final voice, because sometimes if you're working on your own, sometimes things strike you as incredibly compelling or funny, and they do not strike the rest of the world that way. So he's really a great sounding board, and He's just a brilliant, funny host on his own. So yeah, once that gets done, then it's hardcore memorization this weekend. And then I have to think we have a 2.5 hour stage show and we have an opera singer, and I'm going to sing True Colors by Cyndi Lauper with a backup band. The backup band is because I cannot sing at all. Millions of things like that all have to get memorized and the final organizational element.
Incredible. Hey, are you a Mets or a Yankees guy?
I would be a Mets guy. I would not say I'm a huge sports fan. My favorite sport is competitive eating, but I have, if it came down to the two, it would be the Mets.
So have you been following the Grimace storyline with the Mets?
It's so funny. I saw that story today, and I was on the subway and I opted to read debate coverage, but I had seen the Grimace, the Grimace in the. I'm not. What's the status of that?
Well, the Mets are hot right now, and they have accredited all of their winning over the last 2 or so weeks to Grimace, the famous McDonald's mascot purple blob. I don't know why, really, but that's what they have credited with.
That's bizarre, but you know what? When luck and jinxes and superstition, you never know where it comes from. It can take hold.
That's baseball. We're excited to see you on the 4th of July, as we always are. Enjoy. Should be a fun competition this year, and we cannot wait until your introductions. It's a sure sign that the 4th of July is here. We appreciate it as always, George.
Thank you so much, and happy 4th of July to you and all your listeners.
A symbol of America, the 4th of July. That is George Shea, the commissioner of Major League Eating.
And we got him. Wow. Fun to revisit that conversation with George. We always love it each year when George remembers that he's supposed to talk to us, because that is a guy that has carved out a lane for himself. It is a unique lane in, I guess I will call it, the sporting landscape. The commissioner of Major League Eating, George Shea, joined us last week. Glad we could revisit that conversation for you. Recapping yesterday's hot dog eating contest. We've got a woman here who might be the new, I guess she's not the new Joey Jaws. She's won 3 straight now, 10 of the last 11 Nathan's contests. She set a new record for women's hot dogs eaten at the Nathan's hot dog contest. Miki Sudo, is that how you say her name? I didn't look that up like I was supposed to before the show. I normally have my producer do that, but that's me. And then as far as the men's contest, it was won by Patrick Bertoletti, who gobbled 58 glizzies. I'm supposed to, it's little known fact, if you were talking about the hot dog contest, you were supposed to use the phrase gobbled glizzies because you work in radio, so you therefore love alliteration. That's why that happens. I'll pull the curtain back for you on that one. Both American. So look, we may have lost Joey Chestnut, but let's try and look at the silver lining on this. America did not lose the mustard belt, and that's what's important. We have Joey Chestnut's record for hot dogs eaten. That record resides stateside. We love that. Women's belt, men's mustard belt, both reside in America. It could have went a lot worse for the folks at Nathan's and Joey Chestnut, because if Joey leaves this thing and picture if like a Russian guy, big thick Russian son of a gun, goes up there, wins the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and then not only is Joey not at the contest, but America loses the mustard belt. Imagine that nightmare scenario for both the hot dog eating contest itself and Joey Chestnut, who he was at, where George say was at, Fort Bragg? Was that where he was at? He took on 4 of our nation's servicemen in a 5-minute competition. The Nathan's contest is 10. Joey said, I'll give you 5. I'll give you 5 minutes. Joey ate 57 hot dogs in 5 minutes yesterday. That's important because the current mustard belt holder, Patrick Bertoletti, 58 hot dogs in 10 minutes. So Joey wiped the floor with this guy if you're comparing apples to oranges like that. The 4 servicemen that Joey competed against, 49 hot dogs combined from the 4 of them. So Joey's a freak, is what we're trying to say. And I mean that in the best possible way. He has found the thing he does. You know, there's that old saying, everybody in the world is best in the world at something. You just got to find what that thing is. Most of us go our whole lives and never find it. Joey Chestnut found it, and it's eating hot dogs at a rapid speed. He makes it look so easy that Nick Grimm thought he could eat a hot dog in like 10 seconds. He's like, yeah, sure. How hard could that be? And then it took him several minutes to eat a hot dog because, of course it did. We've all eaten hot dogs before. And, you know, as many of you know, Joey Chestnut and the hot dog eating competitors, they do not eat the hot dog like you and I eat the hot dog. They don't eat it leisurely with toppings so that it tastes good. No, they dunk it in water so it melts essentially into a fine paste in their hands and on their face. That's America, baby. Joey should just be, I'm telling you, Joey should be thankful that an American won the mustard belt. Because, boy, it would have been a PR nightmare for him and the competition if another country swooped in and took the mustard belt when we weren't looking. So I am morbidly interested in the Labor Day contest on Netflix between Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi. I mean, it was a rivalry that burned so hot they did a 30 for 30 on it, okay? They don't make 30 for 30s on just anything. I'm only half sarcastic when I say that. I know it sounded like full sarcasm, but I swear. It was only about half sarcasm. So thanks to George for stopping by the show. That's probably all we're going to talk about hot dogs today. We'll talk about baseball later in the show. We'll talk about Husker football, of course, with Stephen M. Sipple. We'll do the top 5 Eddie Murphy movies of all time. And coming up next, I will give my official review of Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. God, that's a terrible title. Just call it Beverly Hills Cop 4. That's what we're all going to call it. It's on Netflix now. I watched it. You can check out my review after the break here on the Connor Happer Show. Josh Otson filling in today on 1620 The Zone.
You get a lot of junk in your inbox. This one, not junk at all. 1620 The Email. Exclusive content, contests, other stuff probably. Subscribe today at 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and comfortable for your Friday with a few extra clouds in the afternoon. A high today of 81 degrees with a bit lower humidity. Northwesterly winds gusting up to 20 miles an hour at times. Staying clear tonight with light winds, a low of 61. A chance of storms Saturday afternoon and night, a high of 84 degrees. A few storms could become severe with gusty winds and large hail. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
The time between Memorial Day and Labor Day is known as the 100 deadliest days. Students are off for the summer, people are taking vacations, and the days are longer. It's a recipe for good times and long-lasting memories. Sadly, it accounts for 37% of Nebraska's traffic fatalities. Someone's waiting for you at a ball game, a party, or a wedding. Don't let a crash keep you away. Focus on driving. Brought to you by the Nebraska chapter of the National Safety Council and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's golf season, and that means it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa. It's sports betting the way it should be. The odds makers with the lowest holds and the best odds for every tournament. Plus, high betting limits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Get ready for all the biggest golf tournaments with Circa Sports Iowa. Visit circasports.com today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, planning a trip to a state park? One of Nebraska's 76 state parklands? Excellent. But don't forget your state park permit, money for camping fees and other activities, a fishing permit if you want to wet a line, and oh yeah, a 6-foot leash for Scruffy, your pet. Thank you, and we hope to see you out there. By the way, you can get all kinds of information on the Nebraska State Parklands through the Game and Parks website. That web address is outdoornebraska.gov. Are you going fishing? I thought so. For proper catch and release fishing this season to ensure fish survival, I want you to remember these important things. Land the fish as quickly as possible. Handle the fish as little as possible. Keep the fish in the water as much as possible. And release the fish as fast as possible. Enjoy your fishing experience, and we'll see you out there. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sounds like you heard about a July 4th sale. It's a great chance to red, white, and do that job you've been putting off. Like an oil change with full synthetic motor oil. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum with an STP extended life oil filter for just $34.99. Save on oil, wash and wax, and more this weekend at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Connor Happer Show. Josh Johnson filling in for Connor today and Monday. We are back at full strength on Tuesday. Connor's attending a wedding this weekend. And, you know, Connor, I don't want to speak for him and say he doesn't drink, but he did say, I'm going to a wedding and I don't want to drink. How do I not drink? We gave him several solutions, and he said, no, I'm just going to power through because I need something in my hand at the wedding. But he loves Diet Coke. He loves water. He could have both of those in his hands. So we'll expect a full update on that. He doesn't like have a problem and wants to quit drinking. He just doesn't like it. So that's why we're kind of being playful and having fun with him on that. Producer Josh filling in for him today. I Told you we'd talk about two things on this show today. We will talk about sports things and sports adjacent things. This is sports adjacent because Eddie Murphy wears a Detroit Lions football jacket in the Beverly Hills Cop movie. See how I worked it in? Sports adjacent. So now we can talk about the latest Beverly Hills Cop movie, which is on Netflix, not in theaters, went right to Netflix. Normally that means something. I'll get to that, don't worry. But Eddie Murphy has reprised the Axel Foley character for a new, long gestating sequel to Beverly Hills Cop. It is called Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. I've said it before, I'll say it again. God, that's a terrible title. Why would you do that to us? But I am here in a professional capacity to review what I will now call Beverly Hills Cop 4 for you all here today.
Josh goes to the movies a lot. Like, really, a lot. He's basically there all the time. I guess we should let him talk about it. So now it's time for another installment of Producer Josh Reviews a Movie.
I didn't have to go anywhere to see this movie. Just my couch at home, fire up the Netflix. And I didn't have to scroll around. It just said, hey, you're probably here to watch Beverly Hills Cop 4. And sure enough, I was there to watch Beverly Hills Cop 4. Because back in 1984, in just his fourth movie, Eddie Murphy brought that trademark smirk and laugh of his to a movie that became a juggernaut, a franchise, and one of the best comedies of the 80s. It made Jerry Bruckheimer, for better or worse, a household name. The original Beverly Hills Cop became a film that grossed like $250 million. It was the highest grossing movie of 1984. If you adjust for inflation, it's the third highest R-rated movie of all time behind The Godfather and The Exorcist, which I've established already today is a comedy. That movie's hilarious. So a couple of comedies adjusted for inflation. Very high on the R-rated movie chart. It had the highest domestic gross for any R-rated movie until 2003, when The Matrix Reloaded surpassed it. The screenplay was nominated for an Academy Award, an Oscar, the Oscar-nominated Beverly Hills Cop. Yes, the soundtrack won a Grammy, because that's even if you've never seen Beverly Hills Cop, you're probably familiar with a few of the musical pieces from Beverly Hills Cop. 3 top 10 singles. Imagine in today's day and age, a movie soundtrack producing 3 top 10 singles. Just imagine that. Children, the movie soundtrack used to be a big, big deal. It of course had the instrumental title Axel F, which is where the movie gets its name. Okay, we'll get to that. Composed and performed by Harold Faltermeyer. We all knew that. Glenn Frey, The Heat Is On. If you've ever been to a Lancers game, you know The Heat Is On. And the Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters. Now, I'm going to play the I'm a young card here. I don't get to do that very often. Is the Neutron Dance a song that was made for Beverly Hills Cop? Because I know the song Neutron Dance, but I didn't know. Was it just on the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, or did it come from the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack? If someone older than me could email me the answer to that question, you would be my best friend for this segment. The movie quickly had a sequel made, and then it took like 7 years for the third installment to get made. And then we never thought we'd see Eddie Murphy don that Lions jacket ever again, because he was one of the hottest stars in Hollywood until he made a slew of bad children's movies and just sort of disappeared, because he's Eddie Murphy. He got 10 kids. He was taking care of them. He didn't need to, have a cameo in Rush Hour 3 or anything like that. Like he could stay home, and he did for a long time. But still, to this day, the theme song has withstood the test of time. Axel F, giving the fourth installment its subtitle. The movie feels familiar and different kind of all at the same time. Yes, it is absolutely. I know you saw this pop up on your Netflix or you saw a commercial for it and you went, cash grab. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not a cash grab, okay? Because a lot of people didn't have to clear their schedule to be a part of this. A lot of people just, hey, I've got nothing else going on. Do you think John Ashton had a lot going on? Do you see Judge Reinhold pop up in a lot of your movies? No, you don't. So, you know, as I've said before, Eddie Murphy was just at home. So why not? Everyone absolutely does the wide-eyed, hey, it's my friend so-and-so. And that's your cue. If you've never seen any of the old Beverly Hills Cop movies, you're supposed to know who this person is. Judge Reinhold becomes the edgy, conspiracy-filled sort of detective because, of course, he does. He was always trending that way. He always thought he was Dirty Harry in the original trilogy. John Ashton becomes like the angry, yelling all the time police chief because, of course, he does. That's just who that character was destined to become. Paul Reiser reprises his role. Paul Reiser reprises. There's a tongue twister for you. And, you know, Bronson Pinchot is back as Serge because he had to be, right? And also, Connor doesn't know who Bronson Pinchot is, as we learned last week. So Bronson had to be in this movie so that Connor knew there have been famous Bronsons since before the year 2000. But also Beverly Hills Cop 4, which is what I'm calling it again, stands alone on its own. It brings in new characters. It brings in young people for Eddie Murphy to solve the case with. And yes, it does a little of the I'm old, you're young, we're different sort of things, but it doesn't do them in the lazy way that you would expect a movie like this to do. You know, it's been 30 years since they made 30 years since they made the third Beverly Hills Cop movie. So it would be very easy to just do, I don't know, something happens in Detroit, it sends Eddie Murphy to Beverly Hills, and then he has to yell at the young people who don't do detective work like he does detective work, and boom, you got yourself a movie. Would have been very easy to just do that and write it off and give it the least amount of thought possible. But luckily, that's not what we're given here. It is a good blend of what you want this type of movie to be, and hey, let's try and surprise some people with some things. So it does that very well. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays like the main young detective. There's a lot of good stuff in here. It has a lot of the flaws that Beverly Hills Cop 3 had, where if you remember Beverly Hills Cop 3, and I don't know why you would, that movie really saw itself as an action movie with a couple of jokes in it, which is the exact opposite of what I want from a Beverly Hills Cop movie. I like Beverly Hills Cop 1 because it's funny, and occasionally there's a car crash. Like it's a comedy action movie, not an action comedy movie, if you follow me on that. But when I hit play on this, I literally said to myself, all this needs to do is be better than Coming to America. It just needs to give me a positive opinion of Eddie Murphy, which isn't the hardest thing to do. We'll do top 5 Eddie Murphy movies later on in the show, and Beverly Hills Cop is definitely on it. So I like Eddie Murphy. I like what he's done. I like, I'm still waiting for that stand-up tour that he said that he's definitely doing. I don't think he's going to do it, by the way. But, maybe the Netflix throws money at everyone. Why wouldn't they throw money at Eddie Murphy and say, hey, do you got 60 minutes that you could do? So I did appreciate this movie simply not sucking. So I kind of know I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth here when I say it was good, and it's not perfect, but it's better than a lot of straight to Netflix movies. So It exceeded my expectations in being a Netflix movie. It exceeded my expectations in being a movie that's had 30 years in between chapters. Like, those movies are usually terrible as well. It exceeded my opinion of an Eddie Murphy sequel. Like, he's done quite a few of those that aren't very good. So it checked a number of boxes that I wasn't sure it was going to check before I clicked play on it. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. Perfectly fine. I recommend it to fans of Beverly Hills Cop movies, comedies, Eddie Murphy movies, people who, oh yeah, I'm on the cusp of pop culture. I know what's going on. Like, yeah, this checks a lot of those boxes for things you would like as well. So I'm going to go 3 out of 5. Good movie, not great. I will probably forget about it very quickly because, it's a movie on Netflix. So I don't think it was the most memorable thing, but I do think you could make another one and I'd be okay with it. Like, I would like, and I'm sure that it's out there. I just haven't done the research on it. I would like to know why they did this on Netflix instead of putting out into theaters. Cause I do think, given how bad the month of June was for the box office, this could have made 60, 70, $100 million. And, I understand that's not what Netflix does, but Paramount at one point owned the rights to a 4th Beverly Hills Cop movie. They had to have wanted this to be a theatrical release, and it never was. But now I'm just rambling. I'm done with the review. I'm just thinking out loud when it comes to Beverly Hills Cop 4. And what an awful headspace that is. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll do odd news. I'll tell you some even weirder things that are going on than our nation's obsession with hot dogs and Eddie Murphy. We'll be back. Producer Josh filling in for Connor Happer today and on Monday. So you've been warned or properly prepared. I'm not sure which. That's up to you. Please don't tell me. I'm too terrified to know what anyone thinks of me. Connor Happer Show. Josh Odson filling in on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've ever wanted to have your cake and eat it too, there's good news. You can have that every day at Equitable Bank. You get state-of-the-art mobile banking as well as online banking. And if you ever forget your password, don't worry. You can give us a call at 402-827-8100 and we'll answer it on the first ring to help. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Nick Bermel, owner of Royalty Roofing. The recent storms wreaked havoc on our community. Our team at Royalty Roofing is here to help. We're local, skilled, licensed, and bonded. We work for you to ensure you get the funds you deserve and make sure that the work is done to your satisfaction. Don't take risks with your biggest investment, your home. We are Better Business Bureau Integrity Award winners and Best of Omaha winners. Cover your roof with royalty. Visit us today at royaltyroofing.org.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. through H2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Last chance to stock up for summer. Stampede Ranch Farms has 20 ribeyes for $40. Visit the big truck and tent at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Steak, chicken, pork chops, and seafood. Stock up now at prices on meat you haven't seen since 2019. Bulk family party packs to fill your freezer. Get to the truckload meat sale at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. 20 ribeyes for $40. Huge truckload meat sale is going fast. Huge bulk deals on New York strips, fillets, mega ribeyes, gourmet smash burgers, plus chicken and seafood. All payments accepted: cash, credit, debit, and EBT. Look for the big truck and big tent and signs that say 20 ribeyes for $40, plus huge bulk deals on steak, chicken, seafood, and pork. Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Find all weekend for 20 ribeyes for $40 at the truckload meat sale, only at Tractor Supply, Council Bluffs.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15's. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Back with you on 1620 The Zone, doing the odd news. Josh Odson filling in for Connor Happer today. I have no one to bounce my odd news off of, so I'll bounce it off the wall. It'll come back, and I will play the straight man and make fun of the stories we're about to inform you of today. We begin with Skip Bayless. Often in this segment, we check in on the goings-on of other sports media, podcasts, television shows, other things, because, you know, they're doing funny things too. We just don't want you to listen to them or watch them because, you know, our stuff's better, even on a day like today where we're not, you know, I've said it and I'll say it again. I'm not working very hard today. I'm here. I'm going to get you to 2:00. I'm going to do a good show, but, you know, not working that hard. Neither are you. If you're working, you're probably not working that hard, unless you're in like a factory or something. That's hard work. That's what I mean by that. I have to drink so much water or I'm going to cough every 9 seconds, which is a bad radio show. And I told you I'm going to do a good radio show. Skip Bayless on his Skip Bayless Show, which is a podcast. It's not the show that he's on TV all the time doing. I think we all know of Skip Bayless's bit now where he says LeBron is terrible at everything basketball related, which good bit. It's worked out well for him. Even regardless of what you think of Skip Bayless, it is a bit that has worked for him. Now he has opinions on Bronny James coming into the league because, of course, he did. A man in Skip's position, Skip has to have opinions on Bronny James because he plays for the Lakers. He's the son of, you know, legend LeBron James. He has, for years, decades now, said that LeBron James doesn't have the clutch gene. He went on his podcast last week and said Bronny James does have the clutch gene. An amazing turn of events from professional heel Skip Bayless, who said I think Bronny will be pretty good. I think he'll become a clutch three-point shooter. I've always gotten the feeling that Bronny had a bigger clutch gene than his father does. McDonald's high school all-star game, he was in the spotlight. They went to him late 2 or 3 times, and he just nailed threes. He did not shoot the three well at USC, but I'm giving him a complete and utter break because I'm knocking on wood for him. He had a serious heart condition that waylaid him to start his first year of college basketball at USC, and it just never quite got going, and I get it. So he admits to completely cherry-picking his summation of Bronny James's career. Amazing. So, as the professional career of LeBron James is waning, Skip Bayless has found another avenue to just indirectly say LeBron James is trash by saying, you know what, guys? I think Bronny's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be better than his dad. How could you possibly think that? He even showed his work. So I credit Skip Bayless for showing the work of the take with like evidence, but how could you possibly think this? Given what we've seen, given what we know about who LeBron James is and who Bronny James is. Just really incredible stuff from Skip Bayless, who every now and then you forget that he's around and he pops up and you go, oh my gosh, that guy said another outrageous thing. And since this isn't a problematic, outrageous thing, I thought I'd share it with you all here today. We go to odd news story. Number 2, New York State is where we go. The town of Babylon, to be specific. Not like the Margot Robbie movie, Babylon. This town is nothing like that, although they do have one problem that is the same. Littering. A town on New York's Long Island is aiming to clean up its chronic littering problem with an aggressive anti-littering campaign and steep fines. The town of Babylon's Operation Clean campaign was launched with an ad showing a serial litterer getting some karma in the form of a garbage truck dumping its load on the man's head. Oh, on his lawn, I'm sorry. Something to think about for the sequel. The town has also erected anti-littering signs which read, "Why are you littering? I am lazy. I don't care about natural areas. Mommy still cleans up after me. All of the above." That's a very wordy sign, but the townspeople think that the bullying will work. Town of Babylon supervisor Richard Schaefer, no relation to Mike, I'm sure, who will be on the show Monday. Quote, "Why do we have the moniker of being slobs? That's why we're literally getting in everybody's face now and saying enough is enough." The town said more than 250 tons of road trash has been picked up so far this year. Another 15,000 pounds of trash has been removed from the creeks that lead into the Great South Bay. Wow, this town sounds filthy. We want to, Schaefer continued, we want to show people that if you're littering, you're doing something irresponsible and immature. The town said first-time offenders will now face a littering fine of up to $1,000. Now, I think that is something that could work, right? $1,000 fine for littering. You hand me a ticket for $1,000 because I threw a water bottle on the side of the road. You bet I'm not doing that again. And I'm also turning around and asking you, there any wiggle room on this? Like, can I take a class? Can I pick up trash on the side of the road for an hour or something? And we're good? Because I don't have $1,000 to give you. I just don't have it. So that is more likely to work than a sign saying that I'm a mama's boy. That's not going to work. I don't know why anyone thought that would work. But kudos to Babylon for that. That's a hell of a sentence or a phrase there. Kudos to Babylon. Yeah, I think the steep fines for littering is going to work. You're going to see you're going to see a down tick in those littering numbers. Hopefully you can do some good, but the sign, someone's going to go, guys, it was my sign. My sign did all the good. And no one's going to have the heart to tell that person, no, Jim, it wasn't the sign. It was the $1,000 tickets we've been handing out. You idiot. We end the odd news today in Florida, because of course we do. Just north of Orlando is where we're going. Lady Lake. Sounds nice, right? About 50 miles north of Orlando. A man handed a bank teller a note demanding cash. And police swooped down on a Chase Bank branch in Florida and arrested an unarmed suspect for robbery. The robbery was for 1 cent. That's right. The unorthodox robbery bid, police say, occurred Saturday afternoon in Lady Lake. And according to an arrest report, Michael Patrick Fleming, 3 names. You got to watch out for people with 3 names. 41 years young, walked into the bank, filled out a withdrawal slip, and handed it to the teller. Police noted the defendant was told afterwards he could not be given 1 cent. After being denied a penny, Fleming, who does not have a Chase account, not sure why that was included in the story, but thank you, reportedly told the teller, so he hands the teller a note on a withdrawal slip that says, give me a penny. The teller says, well, you don't have an account here, and we don't just give away money, even if it is a small denomination like a penny. No, I will not be giving you a penny, sir. So our 3 named bank robber here says, so you want me to say the other word? That's a quote from Michael Patrick Fleming. So you want me to say the other word? The teller was then in fear that possible violence was imminent and notified law enforcement. The other word, of course, being robbery. This is a stick-up. Give me a penny. I would just give the person the penny. Yeah, sure. Here, have a penny. It's fine. This money's federally insured. Here, take the penny. But I'm not a bank teller. When police responded to the 911 call, Fleming was still inside the bank. He was taken into custody and transported to the Sumter County Sheriff's Office, where he agreed to be interviewed by investigators. Fleming said he initially went to Citizens First Bank, which was closed, before driving to the nearby Chase branch. After confirming the bank employee's account of the episode, he said, most of the time, the way tellers are trained, if someone comes in to rob you, they just give you the money and let them go. So he told police investigators he was expecting to be given the penny and allowed to leave. To which he said, I was not planning on leaving. I would then sit in the chair and wait for law enforcement, exposing that his real goal was to just be arrested. He just wanted to get arrested, which is a thing people do, and it's sad, but let's laugh at the funny things that this man did, right? Like, hey, give me a penny. No. Damn, okay. What? Just, I don't have an account here, but if I could have a penny, you'd really be helping me out. So that's the odd news. Our regular trip to Florida bared fruit once again. Whoever could have predicted that the odd news would have taken us to Florida? So we'll bring that back on Monday. Before we go to break, do want to let you know that flooding in Iowa and Nebraska has affected many, many communities in our area, and we want to help. We know you want to help, and you've been asking us how to help. So we are proud to announce a partnership of some kind with the Red Cross. We're helping families and communities recover through these difficult times. You can make a difference and donate to those affected by the flooding in our area. You just go to redcross.org/NRG Omaha Cares and share your support for disaster relief. No amount too small. They need all sorts of things. All the information, all the links, all the stuff you need to know is on the website redcross.org/NRG Omaha Cares. Noon hour coming up next on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee is on a mission to invigorate every workplace with a blend of bold flavors and unforgettable service, creating moments with our coffee, water, and food services that spark joy, productivity, and connection. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
A staple in Omaha can be a staple in your wardrobe. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp for Lindley Clothing, Omaha's premier provider of men's fashion. I can tell you firsthand, I'm extremely satisfied. Most recent purchase of a Baroni suit, but that wasn't the best part of the experience at Lindley Clothing. It was the assistance that was given to me while I was in. Attention to detail, professionalism, positive energy in the store was fantastic. From suits to shorts and everything in between, Lindley Clothing and Well Suited, they've got you covered. And they're conveniently located in the Linden Market, 132nd and West Dodge. Check out Lindley Clothing today.
That's the sound of steak searing in its juices on your new pellet grill. You heard that right. The Weber Searwood Pellet Grill can smoke low and slow at 180 degrees all the way to a high heat sear at 600. With the Weber Searwood, you can cook on the direct flame over the full great sear zone. You'll hear the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Searwood Pellet Grill just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage de nouvelles langues. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, planning a trip to a state park? One of Nebraska's 76 state park lands? Excellent. But don't forget your state park permit, money for camping fees and other activities, a fishing permit if you want to wet a line, and oh yeah, a 6-foot leash for Scruffy, your pet. Thank you, and we hope to see you out there. By the way, you can get all kinds of information on the Nebraska State Park lands through the Game and Parks website. That web address is outdoornebraska.gov. Are you going fishing? I thought so. For proper catch and release fishing this season to ensure fish survival, I want you to remember these important things. Land the fish as quickly as possible. Handle the fish as little as possible. Keep the fish in the water as much as possible, and release the fish as fast as possible. Enjoy your fishing experience, and we'll see you out there. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
If you love whiskey or just want to learn more about whiskey, you don't want to miss the largest whiskey event in the region. Get your tickets to Omaha Whiskey Fest 2024 at omahawhiskeyfest.com. September 28th at the Hilton Omaha downtown. 400 samples, more than 70 brands, expert presentations, and a whole lot more. General admission and VIP tickets available at omahawhiskeyfest.com. You can even make a night of it with special room packages from Hilton Omaha. Get your tickets now before they sell out.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Kicking off the noon hour here on 1620 The Zone. Connor Happer Show. Connor out today and Monday. He's back on Tuesday. Producer Josh Otson filling in for you today. We will revisit our conversation with AEW's Jeff Jarrett. Had him in studio last month at some point. We'll replay that for you. It was fun. He had a lot of Nebraska football takes, so we will replay that. We will have a new conversation, a live conversation with Stephen M. Sipple of Husker Online. He'll get you up to date on all things Huskers happening out of Lincoln this week of a holiday. What else? We'll do this week in baseball before the show's over. Top 5 Eddie Murphy movies still to come. A lot to do here on a Friday show. So we've broached this subject a few times, and I think it's time to have the conversation. So why are you guys working today? It's July 5th, the very, very big holiday on the 4th, yesterday, Thursday. Why not just make a 4-day weekend out of it? Great question. Before we get to all that, poll up on Happer Show on Twitter. Are you working today? Yes or no? I'm not asking how hard you're working. I'm just, are you at work? Are you at work today? Should I word it that way instead? Are you at work today? I'm producing and hosting, so bear with me as I type and think and talk. Are you at work today? Yes or no? Poll question up at Happer Show. Now, a lot of people are going to see that and think, oh, there go those 1620 boys again, complaining about having to work on a work day. That's not what I'm asking. That's not the question here. We were genuinely curious in the office the percentage of Americans that are working today, because it seems very easy to go 4th on a Thursday. The 5th is a Friday. If we did have everybody come in, they're not going to work. They're not going to work hard, but today is not a holiday. It is a work day. So suck as it might, we're here. Like we get it. We understand. We were just curious who's with us. Now, I pull up the Twitter account of one Jack Mitchell, we all know and love, who last night said he was scared that he wouldn't go to work this morning. Did he go to work this morning? Does anyone know? But he does bring us some good information here. Good news. He tweets, Independence Day is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the next 3 years. None of those are on work nights, assuming you will get Monday night off to compensate. Monday, July 5th, 2027 would theoretically be an observed holiday. So this won't be an issue. the next 3 days. He goes on the next 3 years, excuse me, this won't be an issue. And he goes on to say, also, that's the case for 5 of the next 8 4th of Julys. You will not have to work the next day. So that's great. He also brings this nugget. You're not getting these nuggets anywhere else, which is why I'm just blatantly regurgitating them for you. 2026, we have the best possible calendar, he writes on Twitter. 4th of July is on a Saturday. Halloween is on a Saturday. Christmas and New Year's are on a Friday. If you care about it, Valentine's is also on a Saturday in 2026. We won't get that again, he writes, until 2037. Which, so many takeaways from that small Twitter thread. One, and I mean this with love and admiration, Jack Mitchell is the best possible weirdo we have for looking that up, knowing that, finding that, and putting it out for us. I appreciate it. It's also great because, I mean, what a great setup for the, it actually made me more willing to come into work today, even though, as I'm sure you will hear, the boys of Unsportsmanlike Conduct, the ones who showed up, the ones who show up today, not even sure if they're coming in. I think they might be doing the show remotely. I'm here. I'm in the building, in a room by myself. So I think I get the martyr crown today for coming in and working for all of you today. Are you at work today? Poll question is up at Happer Show. Very early returns. 60-40 yes. Now, we were told that, and I'm going to pull the curtain back, maybe even a little too far, as I've been told by everyone who knows me not to. I'm going to do it because hang with me until the end if you think you know where I'm going with this, because maybe you don't. We were told, well, you guys need to come into work because you get a lot of weird days off, and that doesn't always sit well with everybody else where they're working hard. Everybody hates when they're busting their butt and somebody else is on vacation. Everybody hates that. Totally get that. Totally reasonable, rational thing to say. But we said, hey, it's July 5th. I don't know if you follow sports, but there's nothing going on. So you'll have Josh in a room by himself talking about Beverly Hills Cop movies because there's a Detroit Lions jacket in it. So he thinks it makes it okay for him to talk about that on the radio. But what has actually happened is they sent out an email last week. Hey, not going to be a lot of people working on July 5th. So everybody get your work done before that. Get it done on the 3rd so that the people that are working on the 5th have everything they need so they can get in and out. Like, totally fine with that compromise. Great compromise. But they said there's not going to be a lot of people working here on the 5th. And, that enraged all of us. Like, oh, we got to be here doing shows. But actually, and here's where I pivot. There's quite a few people. There were less people here on Wednesday than there are today. Number of FM people circling about the offices here today. Didn't think that would be the case. And I don't say that disparagingly about them. I say it as I was told there'd be no people here, and there are people here. I love it. We get to socialize with our friends. Ed's here making the commercials. Cynthia's here working the front desk. If you need to get a prize, you can come by today. There are people in the building that will help you with the things you need help with. So I have changed my tune. I love a changing of the guard. I love a changing of the tune even more. I'm okay coming into work today because, hey, let's be honest. I get the credit for coming into work today, but doing a show by myself, what a brave and gentle soul am I, coming in and doing a show all by myself, producing and hosting. So I'll take your kudos and whatever else comes with it. Couple emails coming in. John reaches out to us. Hi, John. See, I got to do both parts of the bit, where I say who the email's from, and then I have to say hi to that person. Hi, John. John writes, I'm working today, but the parking garage is very empty compared to most days. I imagine that's the case in a lot of offices today. I thought that was going to be the case here. I thought I had this plan where I was going to walk around the building and record a video of just how empty this building was. Can't really do that because there were less people here on Wednesday. So I'm glad to see so many of my friends and work families. Zachary tweets in response to our Are You at Work Today poll question. Hi, Zach. Call it Independence Day and make it on the first Friday of July every year. Middle of the week 4th is just so dumb. Weekend 4th is also dumb because you don't get a day off. Well, actually, weekend 4th is pretty cool because then you get like the 6th of July off or the 3rd of July off. And then you're like, hey, it's the 3rd of July. It's the 6th of July. Everything's open. You know, the stores, nothing closes early. Everything's open. And I don't have to work. So I'm going to push back a little bit on that, Zachary. And also, as Jack Mitchell pointed out, we get pretty cool holiday setup here for the next year, 2, 3. Jack Mitchell's got every calendar since 1950 or something in his house. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. So yes, we're working today. And despite what we said for the weeks leading up to this, I'm actually okay with this. This is an okay development. Happy to be here today. Happy to be talking to all of you, the fine listeners of 1620 The Zone. And if you want to be an even finer listener of 1620 The Zone, you can join the VIP Club. That stands for very important person. I don't know if we remember that in this day and age. Join the VIP Club. Sign up for 1620 The Email. You'll be the first to know all the cool stuff we're doing. It's the most anticipated Husker football season in decades, or since the last football season. I don't know. You pick. But very exciting football season we're about to embark on. You're going to want to know where we're at, who's hosting what shows. There will be extra shows. We're going to do all sorts of cool stuff this football season, and you'll be the first to know about it if you join the VIP Club and sign up for 1620 The Email. All of our exciting content will be there. Segments you may have missed, some of the great stuff that we're doing, some of the Nick's vlogs, we'll include those in it. Sports news contests. There's usually some way for you to get concert tickets in there as well. You can sign up today. 1620thezone.com. When we come back, we'll revisit our conversation with Jeff Jarrett, and he told us, hey, maybe not so fast on the Husker football celebrations with an 18-year-old Dylan Raiola as your quarterback. We'll revisit that fun conversation we had last month with Jeff Jarrett next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I mean, yeah, Nebraska's going to be a sexy pick. It's a very, dare I say, manageable schedule.
No, winnable games all over the schedule.
People really like the cut of Matt Rule's gym. This doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I am not surprised that this is the conversation. Quite frankly, I'd rather have this than the opposite.
Sure. Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies for your afternoon with a high of 81 today in Omaha and a bit breezy with northwesterly gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Staying clear tonight, a low of 61 with light winds. Tomorrow, your Saturday, a severe weather day for a chance of scattered showers and storms into the afternoon, few of which may become severe with large hail and damaging winds possible. A high of 84. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KUTV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
If you love whiskey or just want to learn more about whiskey, you don't want to miss the largest whiskey event in the region. Get your tickets to Omaha Whiskey Fest 2024 at omahawhiskeyfest.com. September 28th at the Hilton Omaha downtown. 400 samples, more than 70 brands, expert presentations, and a whole lot more. General admission and VIP tickets available at omahawhiskeyfest.com. You can even make a night of it with special room packages from Hilton Omaha. Get your tickets now before they sell out.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-893-2288, 800-893-2288, 800-893-2288.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you, and we are pleased to be joined in studio by Jeff Jarrett of the AEW. The AEW is in town. Collision is here on Saturday over at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs. And this is Josh time now.
Saturday's a great night for fighting. Am I right, Jeff?
Connor, I just want to know, I'm sitting here looking at the screen for those who don't know this. It's the Connor Happer Show.
Yeah.
And you have Jeff Jarrett under my name, that's right?
Yeah.
And you have, not Josh, producer Josh.
Josh wrote that.
So do I have to call you producer Josh, or can I just call you Josh, or can I call you Slapnuts?
It would be an honor to be called Slapnuts by
All
you,
right,
sir.
Slappy, let's get this interview going. The Mid-America Center tomorrow night. We're kicking things off. Josh, are you going to be there?
I am going to be there.
You going to take a guitar shot? Who do you want to get beat up by, other than Connor?
Honestly,
I'd be happy to hit anybody with a guitar.
I don't know who's going to be there, but a guitar shot from El Kabong would.
Look at him.
It would be a dream. It'd be a dream.
He's loving it. He's loving it. We're off to our relationship's getting off on the right foot.
No, he was asking about, so this is the Connor Happer Show, and you're Connor. He's talking to me. You get top billing on the show, and he's wondering why Josh doesn't get any sort of billing on the show.
They throw you no love.
And we have to call him producer Josh.
We already have a Josh. I need to differentiate myself from the afternoon Josh.
We have multiple Joshes in the building. That is part of the problem.
We are in Omaha. Oh, no disrespect. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, guys, we've talked a minute and a half, and we hadn't brought up Nebraska football. I'm just letting you in on something.
I know. People are tuning away.
What are
right
your
now.
takes?
Yeah.
Nebraska football. Are they back?
I'm an SEC guy. So if we want to talk about SEC ball,
Many
Big
call
Orange,
Nebraska the Tennessee of the Midwest.
Yeah, they do.
Is that a compliment or
It's not.
Let's get into that conversation then. Draw me the analogy.
Both
that we
were
don't
very
win.
successful in the 90s. The great fan bases who long for glory again. A return to the promised land.
I apologize. How's y'all's coaching situation?
It's better now.
Who's the coach?
His name is Matt Rule.
Oh yeah, okay.
Matt Rule. He was the coach at Baylor. He was the coach of the Carolina Panthers for a couple of years. Didn't go so well.
Yeah. Okay,
but he's good. We like him so far.
Josh, can I ask you a personal question?
Please,
because you will understand this. What's his name? Matt Rule.
Matt Rule.
Is Matt Rule right here today? And I'm talking about not yesterday. And don't project in the future, but today is Coach Rule A baby face or a heel?
Oh, he's a baby face. White meat baby face.
Right now.
Yes.
Hey, we got to let you in on Connor.
What are you guys talking about?
That's a good guy. They like him right now, huh?
Oh, yes.
Has he had great recruiting class?
He's got a 5-star quarterback.
He has it.
You didn't answer my question.
Wow, look at this guy.
Oh, great.
Is the class. Good?
Class.
Mm-hmm.
College football is all about numbers.
But the quarterback is a pretty big deal.
Oh, you think? I'm new to this football
We really
talk.
like that guy.
So will he start?
He's going to start this fall. Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
He's going to start.
It's a
A
competition.
true freshman coming in starting?
Yeah.
True freshman.
Where's he from?
He's from
Texas.
Many places.
He's from many places.
These kids these days.
Originally Hawaii, then Arizona, then Georgia. He was going to go to Georgia. Nebraska
So
got
his
him at the
parents-
last minute.
Did his parents move around? And
His dad played here, Donovan Raiola. He played at Nebraska.
Played for
in
the
early
Lions for like a
2000s.
decade.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the hopes are on a freshman quarterback. Let's think about that, guys. The state of
When-
Nebraska.
When has that ever failed?
Oh, I mean, the odds are great, guys. Are you kidding me? Aren't we supposed to be talking about Collision? AEW Tix, that's TIX.com, or
right.
Ticketmaster for the easy way to go about it. Tomorrow night, doors open at 5 at the Mid-America Center. Show starts at 6, and Josh gets his ass kicked at 7. I mean, Collision starts at 7.
Yeah.
Hey, whenever I'm called upon, I'll be happy.
Okay.
Now, gas up your guys a little bit. Who are we going to see tomorrow?
Oh, boy. FDR. I consider them today probably the best tag team in the world. They're going to be taking on Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, Blackpool Combat Club. We've got Timeless Tony Storm. We ought to Google Timeless Tony Storm. We're here.
Google this.
She's going to be taking on Lady Frost. And
Excellent gimmick.
And we have gimmick. That's a persona.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry, sir.
Ah, gosh.
I just wanted to impress Jeff Jarrett.
It's but Orange Cassidy's taking on Kyle O'Reilly. That's going to be, I don't even want to call that a sleeper match. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, those are the matches that were announced. I'm sure there's going to be much more announced. Stay tuned to at AEW on all social media platforms or at Real Jeff Jarrett. I'll retweet the stuff. But big night, Collision scene, not just if you want to be on TV, not just in the United States, but around the globe. Our show is seen in literally all over the globe. So it's a huge night. Pretty proud to be a part of here doing the media day, but we're bringing AEW Collision. We were just in Denver on Wednesday. We head to Des Moines next Wednesday, but our stop on our Saturday night's all right for fighting here at Council Bluffs.
And if you
call
can't-
it the MAC, is that kind of the local terminology?
Yes. If you can't make it down there, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to make it down there, but if you can't make it down there, then you watch on TNT and you watch Slapnuts get a guitar bashed over his
That's
head.
right.
Sound good to me.
Josh, we're off and running.
I
man.
got stars in my eyes.
We got to sign. Yeah, you'll have them after that for sure. Got to sign the waiver.
Who, throughout the course of your illustrious career, took the best guitar shot?
Ooh. Oh boy, probably have to narrow it down to
That's fine. Multiple
to 3.
names is fine.
Okay. Let's start with the fabulous Moolah. I mean,
okay,
a 72-year-old woman taking a nice guitar shot. What could go wrong, right? Right, Connor? I mean, that's it.
I got a lot of things to Google.
Yeah, you did. Well,
you're going to go down a YouTube rabbit hole.
Well, you are going to go after that. Did you watch Different Strokes growing up?
No, too young.
Never heard of
He's
it.
a
Yeah,
tiny
you're
baby
a
boy.
kid.
I've
You're
heard
a
of it.
kid. Yeah.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
What you talking about, Willis?
Oh yeah.
He took a nice shot in Buffalo with the Buffalo Bills in attendance.
Gary
yes.
Coleman.
And then you always got to circle back to probably the most well-known, and I like to tell this story that I've got 5 kids, 4 daughters. My school a couple of years ago. She's a freshman in college, so date that 4 or 5 years ago, and she's like, "Dad, what is this? what is this? And who is this?" You familiar with the one and only Beetlejuice?
I am on he was a Howard Stern guy.
You're ready to go. Who doesn't know? So Beetlejuice, he ranks right up there. The talk. Producer, hey, producer Josh.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite guitar shot?
Oh,
do you have one?
On the
Go in that YouTube rabbit hole if need be.
Come on, Slapnuts.
I mean,
as you're thinking about that, you've got to work in Nebraska football because
oh wow.
Has there ever been a Nebraska football related guitar shot?
Oh, I have cracked back in the WCW days. I cracked a Cornhusker over the head, a Cornhusker cheerleader. Google that one.
Oh no!
All right, you got to find that, Connor.
Yeah, that's got to go on the stream somewhere.
I have a question in here about your kids. I am told Taylor Swift babysat your children when they were young.
Man, oh man. What do you think about that?
I need to know what that ask is like because she was in the neighborhood or something, and you just ask.
Let me tell you the real story, or let me just dress this one up. I mean, we negotiated about price. I got her down to $3 an hour. A minimum of a 10-hour stretch. It was a late night. No, all kidding aside. We'll call her a family friend. She's from Hendersonville. She's actually from Pennsylvania, but as a young kid, the whole family moved down to Hendersonville. I'm from Hendersonville, bedroom community of Nashville. We became friends of the family. Just a girl, a sweetheart of a girl. And I lost my first wife to breast cancer. And kind of during that time, she bonded with the girls. And so she would come over. And so technically babysitting may be a little stretch, but she spent lots and lots of time with them and would take him over their house. They go out on the lake or bake cookies or do what girls do. So
amazing.
I assume you saw what everyone sees in her now.
You know what is kind of fascinating about her is that she played at our house one time, just playing around the family. And it was during the holiday season, and one thing led to another. And two friends kind of live in a small community. And by the time she got done, there was probably, 40, 50, 60 people in our house, and she just played for a couple of hours. But no,
the word spreads fast.
Her ability to communicate, whether it's with a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid or with an adult, even as at that time, she was a teenager. I mean, she's just very articulate. You guys have been around kids, and we were all kids at once. It's hard to look an adult in the eye and
carry on. Who lives with me
to carry on a conversation. She was always mature beyond her years, and obviously her business acumen, she had it at a very young age. Her father is a big part of that. Raised great parents, and so she's got a brother, but both of her parents obviously very influential on both sides. But at the very end of the day, it's talent. If you can craft a hook and a song like that,
she's got that.
Yeah. Does your freshman quarterback have that intangible that you just can't coach, can't teach, just wins championships? You see how I hooked that back in there?
Yeah, where on the
I went
Taylor
from Taylor
Swift
to University of Nebraska football. We're not going to lose any listeners during this interview.
We're going to get so many clicks.
Remember the name Dylan Raiola. They just you go home with it. You tell all the people in Tennessee, you say, Dylan Raiola. I know about this guy. The people in Nebraska were telling me about Dylan Raiola.
For real, you're putting him on that level.
I don't. Yeah. Let's just do it. Let's just say yes.
He seems, from everything we've seen, to have been born and molded to be an NFL quarterback.
We've jumped all the way to the league.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about national championships in this new playoff format. We're not even talking about
Heisman.
You can understand why Jeff would be a little skeptical.
You just went straight to NFL.
I'm just telling
what year is he inducted into the Hall of Fame? Just what year? Are we talking 2050?
Amount of years?
Yeah, so 15.
Okay.
10,
they'll name the stadium after him before his senior season.
No pressure on the kid. No pressure on the kid. What is our record this year? 2 questions. Do you guys have an offensive line?
I think.
Oh my God! He didn't come out with yes. He threw his hands up in the air for folks who are not seeing us on streaming.
This is a point of contention.
You are so full of crap, Connor. You can't even get yes out.
It's a point of contention around here. I maintain yes. I think their offensive line is at the very least good.
Such a teeter-totter yes.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to have a take. Hell yeah, they got an offensive line.
Oh well. Okay.
Where's that guitar? I'll smash the guitar over the head of the offensive line.
Did we mention that the crossover is powered by? No, we won't go down that.
They'd love for you to read that.
It is. Yeah. We can cut it out and use
I'm not going to read it unless I get paid.
That's
pal.
right.
You want to get paid? You'll be down at the Mid-America Center tomorrow. AEW at Collision.
AEWTix.com. TIX.com.
They don't call you producer Josh for nothing.
I know why you're here. And with respect to why you're here and who you're working with now, allow me one deviance, if you will.
Hey, rapid fire. I'm trying to keep you guys going. I mean, we got to talk Nebraska football.
Did you know that the offensive line coach?
Oh boy,
is
Taylor Swift's uncle? No, I didn't know that.
Even better,
close.
The quarterback's uncle.
Wait, say that again.
The quarterback who we just talked about, who's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, it's his uncle.
Is what?
He's the offensive line coach.
He's in charge of protecting his nephew, Jeff.
So when he gets busted, sacked on his ass 7 times in the opening game, he gets to go cuss his uncle out?
That's right.
That is a great Thanksgiving dinner just waiting to be had this year. They're going to be like 0-8 at that time. Oh, that's going to be great sitting around the table. Thanksgiving, turkey time. Yeah, he's going to be sitting over there, probably a bum elbow, one shoulder bad.
It's like, you did this.
Concussion protocol. Thanks, Uncle.
Way to go.
Where do his parents live? They live here?
I don't think so. I
don't think so.
I don't think so. There are
I believe nobody lives in Omaha.
They're quite mobile.
Whoa.
I got to be a heel, Judge.
That's right. What was it? What was it like getting the call that, hey, we're gonna put you in the WWE Hall of Fame? Because came as a shock to me as a fan.
But buddy, it came as a shock to me as an inductee. And there's some video of it. I was kind of dumbfounded. At that time of my life, I would say is a real low point from a personal point of view. And it was the first Sunday of 2018, and what a way to start the year off. And some folks know my wife. She is a part of the AEW team. She has been by my side for many years. And it was a Sunday morning, and she was getting ready to go to church. I was already ready, and I walked in the bathroom and told her, I said, hey, I just got a phone call. Of course, she's not going to listen. She's worried about we're running late and this and that. Are the kids ready and all this? I said, well, do you want to know who it's from? She's like, yeah. Are you about ready? I said, I'm ready. Just that whole, you can imagine the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I said, WWE. She said, oh, really? What they have to say? I said, they want to induct me into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And I kind of walked out, and she's just like, what? Anyway,
you slow played it.
It did. It was, I'm very grateful. It's an honor. And my grandmother got into the business in 1946. She didn't wrestle, but she did everything but wrestle. We would call her, she worked her way up to what you'd call a CFO today. My dad wrestled and promoted. So I'm a third generation. So when I really looked at it, and I said it that night on stage as part of my speech, I feel that, not only did I go in, but my dad played such a monster role on it. He was there that night watching it. And my grandmother, obviously she's passed away, but she was a part of it in so many ways. So it was I'll call it a real cool family moment.
It seems in professional wrestling that there's all those grassroots stories. There's there's so many of them. Got into this, and we're talking about third and fourth generation.
Well, when
I've picked up on some things.
Well, that's amazing. But no, when you kind of look at it, you're just talking about your quarterback that's going in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You just said his uncle and his father.
Yep.
Okay, he's second generation. It's truly one of those things. Bankers' kids become bankers. Lawyers' kids become lawyers. It's in our kind of wacky world of professional wrestling. It's one of those things that, in the 60s and 70s, it was a regional kind of business. And now that it's truly a global business, those things are so much more aware. And you see second and third and, even fourth generation. So it's pretty cool to kind of see that. And it's one of the things that again, I'm one of 5 kids. So I'm the only one in the business. But when I grew up, I was always mesmerized. Like, Dad, who'd you say's coming over? Son, I told you to go outside. You've got this chore and this chore. And I'm like, yeah, but no, go do it. And then as soon as somebody pulled in the driveway, I conveniently, mower's out of gas. I'd walk in, hey, what's going on? But I was always enthralled by it, mesmerized by it. And I think that's part of the reason why we see now the second, third, fourth generation.
And you very briefly played your dad in the Iron Claw.
I did not play him.
You did?
No. He was just, but he played that, and that was. Did you see it, Pete?
I did.
Would you, Pete? Josh,
you can call me anything you want.
I saw it. I don't see any movies.
Connor, what did you think about it?
I thought it was very good.
Okay.
Really? I went in totally blind because as we've established on this interview, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know.
True. So and also you don't know wrestling.
I don't know wrestling. I don't know football. I don't know many songs people have accused me of. Yeah. So,
guitar shots.
I liked it. I liked the movie. It was very sad.
Dark.
Obviously.
Really dark. Yeah. And look, as you just said, my dad was a part of that movie and the end of it. So I lived a lot of it and witnessed a lot of it. And it was disturbing. I watched it on a plane not long ago, less than 3 weeks ago. And I told Karen when I landed, she's like, whatever. And I just said, I finally watched the movie. What'd you think? And I said, super dark. And I get it. It's Hollywood. It wasn't completely accurate. That's cool and all that. But it was disturbing. A really, really, to me, such a tragic story. And at the very core of it, it's addiction, for the boys, no matter how you slice it and dice it, died of addiction.
Star Wars Fiend here on the YouTube chat is requesting some old school WWF talk, Josh. If I could,
I wanted to talk AEW.
Oh, you're talking AEW. I don't know.
Did you say AEW TixTix.com?
Have you heard about this? Yes.
Many are going there to get their tickets. Why haven't you gone yet?
Exactly. Exactly. It's a great question.
Fire away. I'm an open book. Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, he's stumbled. Look at this.
I'm going to go a different way. Tell us how good the current AEW champion
There we go.
Swerve Strickland is.
I
think he's special.
Buddy, you hit the nail on the head. He's got a very unique talent, and when you kind of see, you will be able to relate to this. When you combine an in-ring talent, and I'll just say the presentation with Prince Nana and the music and the hook of the song and the match that he had against Hangman, it was in the Forum out in LA in November, was really, really a show stealer in so many ways. He's on a roll right now. And I think a lot of people on the one hand will say, oh, it's a long time coming. And then on the other hand, they're like, man, he's really, really good. But I think in a lot of ways, I'd love to hear your feedback on this, pal, is the AEW roster. When you really look at it, it's really never been, to me, a roster like this ever in the history. We're going into Forbidden Door, and that's where CMLL, it's a Mexican promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling, obviously Japanese promotion, and AEW. It's three promotions kind of combining for a big super show. But when you look at our roster, we have luchadors, we have Japanese, we have the best British wrestler, maybe of all time, great Americans, Canadians, our roster from top to bottom. We have legends, we have rookies, and everything in between. It really is the combination, to me, to give it a little sports talk, of a championship team, because our 8-hitter can hit. That we don't have any holes in our. We got offense, we got defense, and we got special.
You got special teams too. That's been.
Do you have an O-line though?
We've got my uncle, who actually no.
So you're going there.
Well, now Connor, not a wrestling guy, but he's a baseball guy.
Yes. Oh,
you have
Vandy. Vandy has won a few championships.
Vandy, the Whistler.
Who's that?
There's a guy who supports Vanderbilt baseball.
Oh, that comes out here.
He comes out here every time they're here, and he just whistles really loudly.
Very annoying, I bet.
Incredibly.
You kind of like, this guy's from Tennessee. Let's punch
that's
him
what
out.
everybody knows about about Vanderbilt fans. They have the Vandy Whistler.
So let me ask you, being that I'm not per se, I love baseball. I'm part ownership in a Woodbat League.
That's where I was going.
Prospect team in Springfield, Illinois. Look, man,
Right.
I just finally connected with Connor.
I had to get my guy Connor engaged in this.
Thank you. So, but I'm more on the marketing and promotion side. Imagine that. But how's our Vols going to do this year?
They're the number one seed. They're the number
he
one
is
seed.
just a plethora of information. I'm asking his opinion. He goes, well, they're the number one seed. No, how are they going to do, my man?
Well, they have what it takes. It's
They're
just
playing Evansville this weekend. It would be a massive disappointment if they don't win.
But let me say this: they have broken through before and gotten to the College World Series. They've been the best team in the country before, and haven't found out a way to really win the big one.
I mean, they just pulled in Nebraska over and over, right?
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying? Will you go to the World Series?
We will be very much at the World Series.
Do you broadcast the show from there?
We do. Yeah.
Do you get thrown out when you get rowdy?
We are entrusted with broadcast, like literally broadcasting the College World Series.
It emanates
around the
worldwide
country.
from here.
Yes.
Get out of here.
This room.
Yeah.
This room.
Yeah.
Well, one of those rooms.
I love it.
Yeah, this building.
If you don't work in wrestling talk in at least 50% of the games, I'm going to be so disappointed in you.
There you go.
Our play-by-play man, who's also our afternoon host, John Bishop, is a giant wrestling.
Oh, here we go.
He's a big honky-tonk man guy.
That's
good.
His guy. Then he'll take a good ass whipping from the Last Outlaw just as easy as you will, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You might cross paths with him on the way out. I don't know.
We'll bring it
might
on.
be getting here soon.
I imagine there's a couple people who heard you're in the building and will be
interested.
So the World Series
outside.
is from here.
Yeah.
I mean, this room. Wow.
Starts a week from today.
Yeah.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Good old Rocky Top. Can you sing?
No, not a lick.
Then sing Rocky Top for us.
Oh,
there we go. There we go.
Oh, Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee.
There we go, Connor.
See? I'm in.
You're in, pal.
This has been great. Thank you for stopping by. Please tell people again.
AEW tomorrow night. Collision. Doors open at 5, Mid-America Center. Show starts at 6. Collision goes around the globe at 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets right now at the box office, Ticketmaster.com, or AEW Tix, TIX.com.
Also, Josh has a new nickname.
Slap Nuts.
That's right. I am Slap Nuts. I am Slap Nuts. I carve it on my epitaph. That great getting to listen to the Jeff Jarrett conversation again. I still think he's wrong about Dylan. I think it's fine that we're trusting him with the hopes and dreams of an entire state. And hey, we were right. We were right about Tennessee. They did have everything lined up for them so that they could win the College World Series. Thanks to Jeff Jarrett. Glad we could revisit that for you. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll get you Steve Sipple with a live new conversation with the man from Husker Online himself. Steve Sipple is next on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
It's going to be another sizzling hot summer. Stay cool with 35% off new Champion windows. Don't burn your money on high energy bills. Get new energy efficient windows from Champion. 35% off. Plus, get an extra $100 off every window you replace. The more you buy, the more you save. We help you choose the best design options for your home. We then build your project in our very own factory. Our install team manages your project every step of the way. And it's all backed by our lifetime guarantee. Plus, we're giving away the chance to win a $50,000 home makeover. Enter online today. Turn your house into your dream home with more livable space in a new Champion sunroom, or enhance your curb appeal with new siding. Now 35% off. Don't wait. This sale won't last long. 35% off windows, sunrooms, and siding. Plus, get an extra $100 off every window you replace. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit championsavenow.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
How powerful is Cox Fiber? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Omaha jam like you're all in the same garage. Introducing Cox Fiber, from the company with the fastest download speeds 9 years in a row. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Limited availability in select areas. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence in Las Vegas, Omaha, Phoenix. Fixed media download speeds Q2 2016 to Q1 2024.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July holiday sale and get 30% off paints and stains from June 28th through July 8th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Steve Sipple.
Hut, hut, hey! The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha! Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone. We welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, our friend, Steve Sipple. Steve, Connor is not working today, but you are.
That's fine. How's the sports talk going? And this will be challenging because I've been checked out for about 48 hours, but we can probably.
Hey, I have been told by many to ask you what a Steve Sipple 4th of July looks like.
Oh, it wasn't much.
I've been told you love fireworks. Is that true or the exact opposite?
My assignment was to stay with our dog, Bullet. People went off and did their thing, and I stayed with Bullet, who's I hate to say he's neurotic. He's a little neurotic, but he hates fireworks. So it's sort of an uncomfortable topic because I don't want to rain on people's parade, but I have to stay with a dog who doesn't like it. It didn't bother me. I watched probably 9 episodes of The Wire.
Hello.
So it was good. I actually had a good day, good night.
Have you seen The Wire before?
I've checked in and out of it for probably 3 years. Just when I have time, I will go hard into it, and have one of those marathons.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a marathon last night. It was really good. I mean, it's really good.
All right, Steve Sipple, Husker Online. You've been checked out, you said, by your own admission.
Well, I said 48 hours, but
yeah,
maybe more like a day.
Okay.
A day.
I guess the biggest story of the week would be the commitment of Sean Hammerbeck. What a great name, by the way. What do we need to know about him other than his great name?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot there. From Winter, South Dakota. He could probably play tight end. So he's athletic. He can play defensive end probably, but they have him, earmarked for tackle, and it's a good picture. He's 6. I think you'd see 6'5.5" and 260. Again, athletic enough to play tight end. He's the third offensive line. I mean, I think what's happened in the last 10 days or so is they've really added some oomph to the recruiting class with these offensive line additions. You're talking about Brian Tapu. You're talking about Houston Torres, Kane Hanna. I guess that's good. That's as well as I'm going to do with the pronunciation, and then Hammerbeck. So I feel better about the class. It's a solid class. It's not wowing anybody, but it's solid. There's 15 guys, and Hammerbeck's the latest.
I assume you at least saw the quotes or the clips from Matt Rule's conversation with Joel Klatt. What were your takeaways from that?
His confidence, Matt Rule's confidence, I'd say. His confidence in the program, also his confidence in the quarterback position and Dylan Raiola's. I thought his comments on Dylan were striking. I'm saying that he didn't put a timeline on it, but he said he'll be a player that all of college football knows. So if you just ponder that one comment, there's a lot there, right?
Right.
The head coach saying that about Dylan Raiola after one spring of watching him tells you he must have had a pretty good spring, right? He'll be a guy that all of college football knows. He must have done some things.
It hasn't even been named the starter.
Right. And I understand that. I mean, Matt is, there's that very common sense part of that discussion, and that is, what if you name him the starter now, and he comes out in the first couple of weeks of August and plays poorly? Then there's confusion, right? So just he probably earned that role. He earned the starter's role probably in the spring, frankly. But you got now to go do it in August. Okay. It is one thing to earn it in the spring. It's another to actually go out and do it again in August during camp and nail it down. And so that makes sense to me, especially when you're talking about a young guy, when you're talking about a freshman.
You've discussed the sort of the reemergence of the Polynesian pipeline, and I'm not going to make you pronounce any names that you're uncomfortable pronouncing, but is the Polynesian pipeline back? Is it what's Nebraska doing to sort of get some of those guys in their position groups and excel because of it?
Well, they're not. It's just kind of sprung up organically.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's the Raiola family, right? It's Donovan Raiola recruiting the Hawaiian Islands. Some of it's that. Back to back classes, they've had top-rated linemen from the state of Hawaii. Okay, there's also, Sua Lefatu, a redshirt freshman defensive lineman who they're very optimistic about. And Sua Lefatu will bring along Keona Wilhite, who's another Polynesian coming in the class. He's in the class of 2024. But they like him as an edge rusher. So it's just, I think it just sort of sprung up organically. All of a sudden, there is a sort of a Polynesian flavor, which is good. I mean, I talked to Tony Finoti, and he just believes that their culture is just fit for football. And his ancestry, for instance, is just a lot of warriors, and that fits with football. It just does.
Yeah, they're always talked about as like they're disciplined. They like the work, and they traditionally do very well in the sport. And
exactly,
it's important to have guys like that in key position groups where they're going to drive everyone else to work a little harder too.
Well, I think up front is where you really both lines of scrimmage. That's where I think they're particularly. I don't know. They can be effective anywhere. I mean, Dylan's an effective quarterback, but you often see it along the line of scrimmage where they're very effective.
What are you looking at as we sort of transition to not fall, but we start looking, really getting into the nitty gritty of the season? What do you want to see in fall or in week one, like right away? Like what Steve Sipple needs to see the Huskers do this in the first game to tell him everything he needs to know about the team, like something like that.
Take care of the ball. I think a lot of it people would say that, right? After last year. Yeah, last year was kind of a debacle in terms of turnovers. So take care of the ball is huge. And I will always go to the line of scrimmage, particularly the offensive line, because it's still something you want as a Nebraska fan. It's still something you want to see become more than just satisfactory. Can it actually be good plus? Can it get to greatness? We haven't seen that up front for a long, long time here. I'll settle right now for consistently moving the line of scrimmage, giving Nebraska a good run game that takes pressure off the rookie quarterback and allows him to just time and space to fling it to a lot of good receivers, including the tight end position. I mean, that's what Nebraska has. They're really, I think they're good at the receiver positions, and there's a lot of them, and there's a variety, and now you have a quarterback who can complete a lot of throws.
Steve Sipple, what are you doing this weekend?
Right now I'm still with my dog, baby dog sitting. And then, by the way, Bullet, come on. Gravitating towards the street. Now here he comes. There's that. And I just got some like house project type stuff.
Are you handy?
Not too bad. I got to mow a couple lawns. So yeah, I got a lot to do, and I got to kind of start. And I got to work a little bit. I got to write tomorrow. So actually a pretty busy weekend.
Okay. Well, I won't keep you any longer. What are you writing about? Can you tell us?
I think I'm going to write about the UTEP head coach I met at the Belton camp, satellite camp, back in early June, and interviewed him. And he's a fascinating character. So, it's the head coach of Nebraska's season opening opponent. He's a huge Eric Crouch fan. Grew up an Eric Crouch fan. He's actually, he's interesting to me because he's a very vibrant. He kind of reminds you of PJ Fleck, and he had a great answer to the question of how can you make it work in the new college football at places like UTEP. So I'm going to write that, and he had a great answer. If I was an AD and I asked him that question, and he said what he told that AD, what he told me, I understand why he would get hired. I really do.
All right, we'll look forward to reading that. Steve Sipple, thanks for playing ball with us today. You're the only.
Thank you. I appreciate it, amigo. We'll do it again.
My host didn't come to work today. You're the only guest that signed up to come today. We normally have 3 guests on Fridays. None of them showed up. Steve Sipple, dependable. We appreciate it.
I'm glad to do it. Take care.
All right, there he is, Steve Sipple. We will talk to him next Friday, and of course, you can read his stuff at Husker Online. Follow him on Twitter at Steven_Sipple. 1 o'clock hour. When we come back, we'll do top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. We'll do This Week in Baseball. We'll check the polls. We'll tell you what's on TV this weekend. Lot more to do. Stick around. It's the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter at Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey folks, it's Karen from Shamrock. Torrential downpours and golf ball size hail, or scorching hot and dry as a bone. This weather is hard to predict. But one thing we can say for sure, there's never been a better time to get your roof replaced from this season's storm damage. Let our inspections team document the damage for your insurance company and get your new roof covered. We have people still in your neighborhood ready to inspect and fix or replace your roof and help work with your insurance company. One call does it all. Call or visit shamrockroofer.com.
Last chance to stock up for summer. Stampede Ranch Farms has 20 ribeyes for $40. Visit the big truck and tent at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Steak, chicken, pork chops, and seafood. Stock up now at prices on meat you haven't seen since 2019. Bulk family party packs to fill your freezer. Get to the truckload meat sale at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. 20 ribeyes for $40. Huge truckload meat sale is going fast. Huge bulk deals on New York strips, fillets, mega ribeyes, gourmet smash burgers, plus chicken and seafood. All payments accepted, cash, credit, debit, and EBT. Look for the big truck and big tent and signs that say 20 ribeyes for $40, plus huge bulk deals on steak, chicken, seafood, and pork. Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Find all weekend for 20 ribeyes for $40 at the truckload meat sale, only at Tractor Supply, Council Bluffs.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French?"
Amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're a licensed real estate agent in Nebraska or Iowa looking to take your career to the next level, Modern Real Estate is seeking outgoing, high-energy individuals to join the team. Whether you prefer a salary-based, commission-based, or hybrid compensation structure, they have options to fit your needs. With leads provided, you can focus on what you do best, closing deals and achieving success. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to work with a dynamic and innovative company. Email your real estate experience to Tyler@modernrealestateco.com and start building your future with Modern Real Estate today.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Back with you on your Friday afternoon. Producer Josh filling in for Connor Happer. He's back on Tuesday. We thank Steve Sipple for dropping by and giving us his wisdom, his expertise. We appreciate it, and we need it now more than ever in these uncertain times. What does that mean? I don't really know, but just happy he answered the phone, or else I wouldn't have had very much for you. We're going to get you all the way to 2:00. Like I said, I'm pretty confident we can do that. I've got like 59 more minutes. I'm almost positive I can get to 2:00. And a big chunk of that will be a top 5 list. That's right. Top 5 lists are back today, maybe even Monday. I don't know. We'll see. Monday's show, by the way, since Monday did come up because I said it, Mike Schaefer, definitely in. I have to check with Sam McEwen. I have not done that yet. I assume he's in, but he's a very busy man. He's busy and powerful, so we'll see. But also, Nicole Auerbach going to be with us on Monday's show. She is covering many, many things extensively for The Athletic. She normally covers college football. Sure, we'll ask her a few college football questions because we are in the state of Nebraska after all. But she's also done a great deal of covering the United States swim team as they head to the Paris Olympics. So we'll primarily be talking to her about the Olympics and America's quest for many, many gold medals and to take down the dirty, dirty Australians. That's right. Your hatred for Australia is coming back with these Paris Olympic Games. But that's Monday's show. Today's show, this segment, top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. Now, I looked at my list, my master list of all the top 5 lists I've ever done. And I searched Eddie. I searched Eddie Murphy. I searched like Beverly Hills Cop. It astounds me, but according to my shoddy at best record keeping, I've never done top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. Connor's not here, so we can do that because I'm sure it would offend all of you, the movies Connor Happer hasn't seen. You know, okay, he thinks Jurassic Park and Twister are the same movie. We can laugh at him for being stupid about that, but I mean, imagine what Connor Happer would say when I say Trading Places, and he goes, I don't know, what is that? I've never heard of that. What is that? And you all just turn off your radios in disgust. So now we can have an intelligent conversation about Eddie Murphy movies that doesn't involve Connor Happer. Number 5, top 5 Eddie Murphy movies.
God, come on, take forever.
Number 5.
I might go a little off the board to start this list. You know, this is probably the one for me. By the way, I do think my ratings will trigger a lot of people. All the movies you expect to be there are there. I just don't think they're in the order you want them to be in. I'm going to start with 1999's Bowfinger. This is kind of the one, you know, there's one on every one of my top 5 lists. Like, that one's for me. Just one of those, I don't have to defend myself to you. I just like it. That's my reasoning for having it. It's Steve Martin, it's Eddie Murphy. Like come on. It was number 5. It was Bowfinger or Life. And I was right on the fence between the two. Life is a movie we don't talk about. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, pretty darn funny movie, but Life didn't make the list. Bowfinger did. On the verge of bankruptcy and desperate for his big break, aspiring filmmaker Bobby Bowfinger concocts a crazy plan to make his ultimate dream movie, rallying a ragtag team that includes a starry-eyed ingenue. Really? It says ingenue in the... Wow. Okay, great. Heather Graham, a has-been diva, Christine Baranski, and a film studio gopher, Jamie Kennedy. He sets out to shoot a blockbuster featuring the biggest star in Hollywood, Kit Ramsey, played by Eddie Murphy, only without letting Ramsey know he's in the picture. So we get Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy together. That's why Bowfinger's on the list. It's a movie that's probably a collection of bits and moments that are better than the movie as a whole, but I wanted to include it because how often do I get a chance to talk about Bowfinger here with you?
Number 4.
Number 4, we go back to 1983, Trading Places. A lot of people like this movie better than I. Still top 5 Eddie Murphy movie, but some are higher on it than others. Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, and of course, Eddie Murphy. Upper crust executive, Louis Winthrop III, played by Dan Aykroyd, and a down-and-out hustler, Billy Ray Valentine. 3 names, got to watch out. Eddie Murphy. Are the subjects of a bet by successful brokers Mortimer and Randolph Duke. An employee of the Dukes, Winthrop is framed by the brothers for a crime he did not commit, with the siblings then installing the street-smart Valentine in his position. When Winthrop and Valentine uncover the scheme, they set out to turn the tables on Dukes. Google really tells you a lot about the movie. It is not a very vague plot synopsis. I mean, that was like a whole paragraph there. That's why we read those. Also, I think they're occasionally funny. I mean, come on. Like, what more do I need to say about Trading Places other than it's Trading Places? Like, one of the most beloved comedies of the 80s. Like, yeah, Eddie Murphy's great in it. Dan Aykroyd's great in it. This was like Eddie Murphy's, like his 3rd movie. He did 48 Hours. That was his first movie. And then he did like a stinker that no one's ever heard of. And then he did Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd. So, I mean, right out of, I mean, he was a big TV star when he started doing movies, but I mean, Eddie Murphy had a couple of bangers right out of the gate. Okay, Trading Places was 2nd. Trading Places was 83. Guy does 48 Hours, which is a good movie that I find overrated. Not on this list. 48 Hours is not on this list. I think 48 Hours has been done a million different times since and has been done a million times better than 48 Hours. Also, Nick Nolte's kind of racist in that movie. I know that's kind of the point, but hits the ear different than it did in 1982. Trading Places was 83. That stinker was called Best Defense in 1984. If you can find it, good luck. Let me know. And then later in 84, Beverly Hills Cop. So, I mean, 3 out of his first 4 movies are iconic. Like, would that be fair to say? Like, so right out of the gate, Eddie Murphy was The Golden Child, which is a movie he later did, which is terrible. Please never watch The Golden Child. Okay. Take it from me. Don't go, oh, Odson said never watch The Golden Child. I think I'll watch it. No, don't watch it.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. Number 3, you got to have Shrek on here somewhere. He is a pivotal role in Shrek, the 2001 animated movie that pretty much skewered everything Disney is known for doing. So, I mean, he's Donkey. Come on, he's Donkey. Like, weird to compare a famous man, like, just he's Donkey. That's a weird sentence to say. But Eddie Murphy is Donkey. Like, no one could ever, like, if if they kept making Shrek movies and Eddie Murphy was like, no, thanks. I'd really rather not. I'd rather fully retire and never reprise the role of Donkey. Like, what would they do? They couldn't have someone take that character and just recast it. No, they'd have to like, this is Donkey's son of Donkey. And it'd be played by like Keenan or something like that. No, Eddie Murphy is Donkey. Again, just really, really weird sentence to say. I guess let's read the Google synopsis of Shrek for those that haven't seen it. Has anyone have you poll question up at Happer's show? Have you seen Shrek? You know, we're always looking for as close to total unanimity as we can get. Have you seen Shrek? Up at Happer Show. I feel like that's got to be about as close as we can get to agreeing on something as a society. Once upon a time in a faraway swamp, there lived an ogre named Shrek, played by Mike Myers, and not Chris Farley as was originally intended. I was editorializing there. Whose precious solitude is suddenly shattered by an invasion of annoying fairy tale characters. They were all banished from their kingdom by the evil Lord Farquaad. Determined to save their home, not to mention his, Shrek cuts a deal with Farquaad and sets out to rescue Princess Fiona, played by Cameron Diaz, to be Farquaad's bride. Rescuing the princess may be small compared to her deep, dark secret. Again, Google, it walks right up to spoiler in these Google synopses of the movie. So, okay, we got two Eddie Murphy movies left. Top 5 Eddie Murphy movies, number 2.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
This is where I put Coming to America. Yes, I understand. A lot of you are yelling at your radio right now. A lot of you are not happy with me for putting Coming to America so low as to have it be the second best Eddie Murphy movie. It's probably what most everyone considers the best Eddie Murphy movie. I will tell you why shortly. But first, 1988's Coming to America. Prince Akeem is the prince of a wealthy African country and wants for nothing except a wife who will love him in spite of his title. To escape an arranged marriage, Akeem flies to America, accompanied by his persnickety sidekick, Semi. There's a poll question in there somewhere. I'm trying to think of it. But also produce and talk at the same time. To find his queen. Disguised as a foreign student working in fast food, he romances Lisa, but struggles with revealing his true identity to her and his marital intentions to his king father, played by James Earl Jones. Was Semi persnickety? I think that's the poll question. Was Semi persnickety? Oh, says I spelled persnickety wrong. Persnicketies? That's not a word, Google. Again, trying to produce and talk at the same time. Was Semi persnickety? Poll question up at Happer Show on Twitter. So, yeah, Coming to America. Why is it at number 2, Josh? I think this is, and follow me on the distinction here, I think this is the best movie that Eddie Murphy has ever been in. Now, I understand. This list is top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. Josh, if it's the best movie, why isn't it number 1? Well, there's a difference between like good movie and favorite movie. And like if we're playing word association on an actor's career, number 1 comes up. Let me do number 1 and then we'll talk about 1 versus 2. Number 1, Eddie Murphy movie. According to me, a contrarian.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1 for me, Beverly Hills Cop. When I think of Eddie Murphy, I think of that smile, that smirk, and that laugh. The sort of, it's like it's a horseshacky laugh. If you remember the TV show Welcome Back, Kotter. See, Connor's not here, so I can reference things in pop culture that may be old or, popular at one time. So Horseshack was a character on Welcome Back, Kotter. He had a very distinctive voice and laugh. Eddie Murphy kind of had that too. And then after about like 3 movies, they were like, dude, you got to stop doing that laugh. Like, no, you're Eddie bleeping Murphy. You can't be doing that. So 1 versus 2. When I think of Eddie Murphy, I think of the smile. And I think that in Beverly Hills Cop, Eddie Murphy gets to be more Eddie Murphy than he does in Coming to America, because he's playing a character in Coming to America. Yes, it's a better movie, but I have a softer spot for Beverly Hills Cop because it reminds me of actual Eddie Murphy more. It reminds like the Detroit Lions jacket, which I've mentioned many times on the show today. Like I think of that when I think of Eddie Murphy. I think of wise talker. I think of quote unquote street smarts, whatever the hell that means. I think of Eddie Murphy having that, and I think of Beverly Hills Cop better than the best Eddie Murphy movie, which is Coming to America. I understand. I'm speaking in contradictions, but it's my list. You make your own list. So that also, what do we do with the stand-up movies of Eddie Murphy's career? Because those are great too. Raw is great. I love Raw. Obligatory. Could you make Raw today? No, you couldn't. Why would you? So I like Raw. I didn't know what to do with it because it's quote unquote just a stand-up performance, but it's really good. It was a movie. So I'd like to put that in here somewhere as well. I don't know what the collective thinks about doing that. So we'll see. Kudos rolling in for my top 5 Eddie Murphy movies list. John emails the show. Hi, John. When in response to our "Have you seen Shrek" question, which is up at Happer Show, you can vote on it. That's right, poll questions on what should be an American holiday. I've only seen little bits of Shrek while the nephew or grandson is watching it. I have never just watched the movie. So John, not out on Shrek, but I was trying to find something we could all agree on. And Have You Seen Shrek is up on Happer Show's Twitter account right now. Again, very early returns. 96% of the audience says yes, they've seen Shrek. Even fewer returns available for the poll question was semi-persnickety. 100-0 right now. We have total agreement on was semi-persnickety in Coming to America. So I appreciate everyone reaching out on those thoughts. Amazing Daniel tweets in. Hi, Daniel. Great call on Bowfinger. Great movie. I promise you, Connor has never seen 48 Hours, but has seen Dr. Dolittle 1 and 2 and thinks Shrek is a top 5 Eddie Murphy film. Daniel continues in a second tweet. I can hear him now. I hate dogs and beer, and don't try to tell me Norbit wasn't hilarious. Yeah, we could do bottom 5 Eddie Murphy movies, and it would probably be a harder list to create because really there were 4 automatics in the top 5 Eddie Murphy's movies list, and it was just, okay, what do you want at number 5? There are more than 5 bad Eddie Murphy movies. Could I interest you in Pluto Nash? Could I interest you in Daddy Daycare? Could I interest you in Norbit, Meet Dave, 1,000 Words, the TV movie Beverly Hills Cop? That happened. People forget. Coming to America. Seriously, we as a society, we were going through other things at the time, so we didn't care. But Coming to America is a garbage movie. Somebody should be brought, like, whenever somebody does something stupid like Boeing Like, they're going through it right now. So they got their butt called to Congress, and the congressman yelled at them for several days and hours at a time. Like, hey, you're Boeing. You can't be doing this stuff to the American people. I feel the people that made coming to the number 2 America need to have something similar happen to them. They need to be brought to Congress and have their someone wag their finger in their face and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you making the American public suffer through coming to America? But top 5 Eddie Murphy movies. That's what we did. When we come back, we will do a little something that we've done sporadically on the Connor Happer Show. We're going to bring it back today, a segment we like to call This Week in Baseball. We will, we're the baseball show of 1620 The Zone. Whether you crowned us that or we crowned ourselves that, who's to say? Not me. We will discuss the happenings of Major League Baseball. We'll recap what's been going on this week in Major League Baseball next on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley.
From the South Bay to the Valley,
Randy Newman.
From the West Side
George Kennedy
to the
indicating.
East Side, everybody's very happy because the sun is shining all the time. Looks like another perfect day. I love LA. We love it.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies for your afternoon with a high of 81 today in Omaha and a bit breezy with northwesterly gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Staying clear tonight, a low of 61 with light winds. Tomorrow, your Saturday, a severe weather day for a chance of scattered showers and storms into the afternoon, few of which may become severe with large hail and damaging winds possible. A high of 84. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. Now that we got through the spring and we're in the summer, what's better for summer than ice cream? I always say, get yourself a bucket load. Now I know they don't sell it by the buckets at Ted and Wally's, but they do sell it by the pint. They do sell it by the half gallon. All you got to do is call ahead to get yours reserved today. And so many flavors. Go on social media, whether it's Facebook or on Twitter, and they have a list of the day's ice creams for both locations. That's in the old market, of course, and in Benson. Swing by there, get yourself some great ice cream this summer, and tell them Severe sent you.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
The Storm Chasers travel to Des Moines to take on the Iowa Cubs tonight. First pitch scheduled for 7:08. You can hear all the action on your home for the Storm Chasers, 1290 Coil.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-893-2288, 800-893-2288, 800-893-2288.
Last chance to stock up for summer. Stampede Ranch Farms has 20 ribeyes for $40. Visit the big truck and tent at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. steak, chicken, pork chops, and seafood. Stock up now at prices on meat you haven't seen since 2019. Bulk family party packs to fill your freezer. Get to the truckload meat sale at Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. 20 ribeyes for $40. Huge truckload meat sale is going fast. Huge bulk deals on New York strips, fillets, mega ribeyes, gourmet smash burgers, plus chicken and seafood. All payments accepted: cash, credit, debit, and EBT. Look for the big truck and big tent and signs that say 20 ribeyes for $40, plus huge bulk deals on steak, chicken, seafood, and pork. Tractor Supply in Council Bluffs at the end of South Expressway. Find all weekend for 20 ribeyes for $40 at the truckload meat sale, only at Tractor Supply, Council Bluffs.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, planning a trip to a state park? One of Nebraska's 76 state park lands? Excellent. But don't forget your state park permit, money for camping fees and other activities, a fishing permit if you want to wet a line, and oh yeah, a 6-foot leash for Scruffy, your pet. Thank you, and we hope to see you out there. By the way, you can get all kinds of information on the Nebraska State Park lands through the Game and Parks website. That web address is outdoornebraska.gov. Are you going fishing? I thought so. For proper catch and release fishing this season to ensure fish survival, I want you to remember these important things. Land the fish as quickly as possible. Handle the fish as little as possible. Keep the fish in the water as much as possible. And release the fish as fast as possible. Enjoy your fishing experience, and we'll see you out there. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
$16.20 The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show. No Connor today. No Connor Monday. He's back on Tuesday. Producer Josh Odson filling in for him until then. Let's catch up on our correspondence before we get into the baseball news. We have a hashtag topic alert, which you'll hear a lot on Unsportsmanlike Conduct this afternoon with John and Josh. Comes to us from the YouTube chat. My sickos on the YouTube chat. We love them. Tiger Shark Diver. Hi, Tiger Shark Diver. See, I got to do both sides of the bit, and I don't like it. If you don't toast your brat buns, it should be a criminal offense. Now, I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. Think about it. Because I think TSD is right. That's what I'm going to call him now. TSD, Tiger Shark Diver. I think he's right. Now it's an extra step. It's another thing you kind of have to juggle on the grill, but I think he's right. I think it's going to pay off in the long run, is what I was talking about there. He also adds, I've been husking corn since the 90s. Charles on our YouTube chat noticed a couple things that Sipple said, which were normal. I guess par for the course for Steve Sipple would be the way to word it. We need that bullet come on as a drop. I agree. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it with my producer hat on, and I don't know what we would use it for, but I do know that it would probably come up at some point. Now Charles also noticed that Sipple uttered the phrase Polynesian flavor at some point, which is a clear alley-oop for me to go, Polynesian flavor? Would that be
Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple.
You wanted drops on the show. That's what you're going to get, drops. Yeah, so I think, yes, Steve Sipple was referencing pineapple when he was talking about Polynesian flavor. Get in on the poll questions at Happer Show. Next segment, we will go over the results of those. We will do This Week in Baseball. But first, wanted to go over the 2024 MLB All-Star starters. Those were named yesterday. I don't know, late on the 3rd. Time is a flat circle. I don't know. I haven't been doing anything the last day and a half. In the American League, you have Adley Rutschman of the Orioles nominated as catcher. I got no beef with that. Runner-up, Salvi from the Royals. I know Connor, if he were here, he'd say, I don't know, guys. Adley Rutschman's supposed to be great. Salvi wasn't supposed. He was supposed to be trade bait. The Royals were going to send him to the South Side, and he's come up with an all-star year. He deserves to start more than Adley because Adley will be great for the next 20 years. And, so I've now presented both sides of the argument. You decide. Third all-star starter election for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base. I guess. Just my opinion on Vladdy sours year after year that the Blue Jays just underperform. I know a lot about baseball. I consider myself a fairly knowledgeable baseball fan. And I've listened to many, many podcasts from people who are smarter about baseball than me. They don't ever seem to really have an answer for hey, why can't the Toronto Blue Jays put it all together? I keep coming back to the division, which, nothing they can do about that. But it's a tough division. Maybe they'd compete better in I don't know where they'd compete better. They're just not very good. Second base starter, Jose Altuve. Jordan on YouTube, love your Connor impression, Josh. Yes, it was very accurate. Thank you. Jose Altuve batting .308 with 13 homers and 13 stolen bases. 9-time All-Star, his 6th as a starter. One of only 4 active players to be voted a starter 6 times or more. The bust Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, I will withhold comment, and Aaron Judge. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know a lot about AL second baseman, but come on, we're all tired of Jose Altuve, right? We're all tired of the Astros, right? Shortstop, Gunnar Henderson, of course. Now, this does present another producer Josh debates with fictitious Connor Happer because the runner-up was Bobby Witt Jr. I will read from MLB.com here as the pro Gunnar Henderson. Henderson, as a case, is the best all-around player in baseball this year, and he was able to beat out fellow shortstop phenom Bobby Witt Jr. to make his first career All-Star game in what was arguably the most star-studded race on the ballot. The 23-year-old is batting .288 with 26 home runs, 13 stolen bases, and a .983 OPS, and has been the catalyst of the O's offense all season. Now, I will turn the tables and argue as fictitious Connor Happer advocating for Bobby Witt Jr. to be the All-Star starter at shortstop. Bobby Witt Jr. got that big contract, and a lot of guys just fall off after they sign that big contract. Bobby didn't. He took the leap that everybody thought he would. This is why you take the leap, so you can be named All-Star starting shortstop. That's what we want. That's what the people deserve. He's going to be the first guy since Ronald Acuna Jr. last year to hit 30 and home runs and 40 stolen bases or something weird like that. Bobby Witt Jr. for All-Star starter at shortstop. I'm Connor Happer. This is going to get back to him, and it's not going to be good for me, but felt good in the moment. Third baseman, Jose Ramirez from the Guardians. I'd be hard-pressed to name someone who deserves it more. Yordan Alvarez is your AL starter at DH. MLB.com is where I'm reading this particular article from. The runner-up is listed as Ryan O'Hearn for the Orioles. So, couple things. Yes, as much as we're tired of the Astros and, Yordan Alvarez deserves this. And second of all, if I may go back to fictitious Connor Happer. Great. He leaves. Terrible. Doesn't do anything for the Kansas City Royals for just under a decade. He goes to Baltimore, and he's an all-star contender at DH. Ah, great. That's fictitious Connor Happer. In the outfield, it's Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Stephen Kwan. Yeah, not really. We're supposed to do I think so-and-so got snubbed. Not a lot of snubs there. In the NL, William Contreras for the Brewers, first starting election at catcher, beating out JT Realmuto. Second career All-Star selection for Willie. Bryce Harper, first base. Again, MLB.com, runner-up, none. Now, it is interesting because I would think Bryce Harper would not play in the All-Star game. I don't know. Maybe he said he will, but I would imagine the team would say, Bryce, why don't we shut you down for All-Star weekend? So it'd be interesting to see who actually plays that position. Luis Arraez, runner-up at second base in favor of the Diamondbacks second baseman, Ketel Marte. 5 years after he was voted a starter during his breakout 2019 season. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Anytime Luis Arraez loses something, I'm okay with that because Connor Happer show out on Luis Arraez. Trey Turner, your starting shortstop for the Phillies, beating out Mookie Betts, who has a broken hand. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Third base starter, Alec Bohm. He hates it there. He would prefer to come back home here in Nebraska, but he's going to start the All-Star game at third base instead. That's pretty cool. DH, it says Shohei Ohtani. Boy, I'd love to make the argument for not Shohei Ohtani, but it's impossible. Christian Yelich, Jurickson Profar, and Fernando Tatis Jr. will start the All-Star game in the outfield. Yeah, I guess I'm a little surprised Castellanos isn't in there somewhere, but as a Braves fan, pretty cool that, they went with Jurickson Profar and Christian Yelich. I mean, good to see some other representation there other than the Phillies. But right now, we are excited to bring back to you a segment titled This Week in Baseball. We have music that accompanies it. This Week in Baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Connor Happer Show is proud to bring you, by popular demand, the return of the astounding, the amazing, the always relevant segment known as This Week in Baseball. We start where every good baseball segment starts, the New York Yankees. The Bronx Bombers are just plain bombing right now, 5-14 since June 13th. They're losing games and anthem standoffs to the Cincinnati Reds. Cincy comes in a dreadful 6 games below 500 and sweeps the evil empire. Ellie De La Cruz hits a triple and a home run in his first visit to Yankee Stadium. Yanks now a pair of games back to the Orioles in the AL East. Speaking of those Orioles, the 23-year-old phenom Gunnar Henderson announced he would participate in this year's altered home run derby. Henderson currently leads the O's in every major statistical hitting category and is in the conversation for AL MVP at the halfway point of the season, as Baltimore took 2 of 3 from fellow division leader, the Seattle Mariners, this week. Those Mariners, they're slipping, by the way, 4-10 over the last 2 weeks, give or take a couple days. Series losses to the Guardians, Marlins, Rays, Twins, and Orioles in succession. The M's now find themselves just 2 games ahead of the Houston Astros for first out west. That's right. The Houston Astros, once thought to be very, very dead, are in fact very much alive, having won 13 of their last 16 games, including a sweep of the Baltimore Orioles. That's right. Over on the senior circuit, the Phillies haven't had Bryce Harper or Kyle Schwarber for about a week now, and it hasn't mattered. They've won 4 of their last 7 since placing those 2 sluggers on the injured list. Granted, The Phils played the murderer's row of the Marlins and the Cubs this past week, but you can only play who you play. They hold a 9-game lead on the Atlanta Braves. The two teams meet this weekend for the first time since the Braves took 2 of 3 from Philly in Philly to start the season. How do I expect that to go as a Braves fan? Not well. Not well. The Braves have the second worst record in baseball when allowing 4 runs or more. They're like 6-20 or something when they allow 4 or more runs. That is this week in baseball. I didn't quite hit the post like Connor did because I couldn't see it. It's behind me if you're not watching on zonetv.live. The computer that controls the sounds is behind me while I look at the camera because I need to be seen. Also, I'm the only one on the show today, so that's why we did it like that. That is this week in baseball. We will come back. We will wind down the show. We will update the poll questions. We'll tell you what to watch this weekend, and we will hand the baton over to the guys from Unsportsmanlike Conduct. It's all a lot to do still in one segment. We'll see if we can get it all done next on the Connor Happer Show. Producer Josh Hodson filling in for Connor today on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
A staple in Omaha can be a staple in your wardrobe. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharford, Lindley Clothing, Omaha's premier provider of men's fashion. I can tell you firsthand, I'm extremely satisfied. Most recent purchase of a Baroni suit, but that wasn't the best part of the experience at Lindley Clothing. It was the assistance that was given to me while I was in. Attention to detail, professionalism, positive energy in the store was fantastic. From suits to shorts and everything in between, Lindley Clothing and Well Suited, they've got you covered. And they're conveniently located in the Linden Market, 132nd and West Dodge. Check out Lindley Clothing today.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
It's going to be another sizzling hot summer. Stay cool with 35% off new Champion windows. Don't burn your money on high energy bills. Get new energy efficient windows from Champion. 35% off. Plus, get an extra $100 off every window you replace. The more you buy, the more you save. We help you choose the best design options for your home. We then build your project in our very own factory. Our install team manages your project every step of the way, and it's all backed by our lifetime guarantee. Plus, we're giving away the chance to win a $50,000 home makeover. Enter online today. Turn your house into your dream home with more livable space in a new Champion sunroom, or enhance your curb appeal with new siding. Now 35% off. Don't wait. This sale won't last long. 35% off windows, sunrooms, and siding. Plus, get an extra $100 off every window you replace. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit championsavenow.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
How powerful is Cox Fiber? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Omaha jam like you're all in the same garage. Introducing Cox Fiber from the company with the fastest download speeds 9 years in a row. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Limited availability in select areas. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence in Las Vegas, Omaha, Phoenix. Fixed median download speeds Q2 2016 to Q1 2024.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play, that my worth isn't determined by my performance, that even on my worst day, I am worthy, that you see me learning, growing, and doing my best, and that is enough.
This message presented by the NSAA and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Last segment of the week. Producer Josh in with you today. No Connor. He will not be back Monday. This is normally when I tell you Connor will be back Monday. He won't be back Monday. He'll be back Tuesday. He is out of town. Good for him. No resentment. Happy for him. Monday show will have, like I said earlier, definitely Mike Schaefer. Maybe Sam McEwen. I don't know. I haven't checked yet. I haven't asked. And definitely Nicole Auerbach from The Athletic. We'll ask her some college football questions, but she'll mostly be here to preview the swimming events at this year's Paris Olympics. So exciting things she gets to cover. I enjoy swimming. I enjoy the Olympics. Connor does not. So while he's out, I will take that opportunity to talk to someone about something I enjoy. So also, I'll take the opportunity to talk to anyone who is a human being, because I've been talking to myself in a room for the last 4 hours. The kudos continue to roll in for me. Some might say the best worker here at 1620 The Zone. Mustache Adam tweets in, hi Mustache. Your Connor as a KC Royals Uber stan is incredible. Please keep this going when he decides to work again. I would agree. I think there was something there in that bit that we can continue to do while Connor is actually in the room with me. We had a lot of fun on the polls today. We go to the Twitter account at Happer Show. 3 of those poll questions up for you today. You can still vote on these even after the show. Are you at work today? This was just a genuine curiosity thing. I wasn't not trying to say anything. Like, don't read into that. There's no tea leaves with this. I'm just genuinely curious how many listeners of our show got the day off of work. Are you at work today? 53% of the audience said no, they're not. So it's actually closer to a 50-50 split than I thought. So again, I will say this again. I am glad I came into work today because it seems like it actually was essential for me to be here. I was wrong when I said those things the last month about having to work today. Poll question number 2 up at Happer Show. Have you seen Shrek? 90% of the audience says yes, they have seen Shrek. And finally, very few returns on this one yet. People might not be able to decode it. Was Semi persnickety? I read the Google description of Coming to America, and it said that it characterized the character, Arsenio Hall's character, as persnickety. So I wanted to know if the audience agreed with that assessment. 53% of the audience said yes, Semi was in fact, persnickety, we turn the tables to what to watch this weekend. A lot of baseball on your TV this weekend tonight. Apple TV. Again, I do this every week. It's not a doubleheader. It's 2 games on at the same time for some reason. Tigers, Reds in Cincinnati, 6 o'clock tonight on Apple TV, it's on at the same time. Phillies, Braves in Atlanta. They will also be on 12:35 Sunday afternoon on ESPN+. Astros, Twins up north, 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN+. It is a Sox-Yanks weekend. Big noon. No, just a baseball game that starts at noon tomorrow on FS1. And, of course, Sunday Night Baseball Sunday on ESPN. Giants, Guardians, ESPN+, 3 o'clock Saturday. Big Fox, Dodgers host the Brewers, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And your Roku game, it's not at 10:35 Sunday morning. I know this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers with the Roku MLB fans. 3 o'clock Sunday, it is the Diamondbacks at the Padres on Roku. WNBA, 5 nationally televised games this weekend, headlined by Las Vegas at Los Angeles, 9 o'clock tonight on ION. CBS, just regular old CBS, noon tomorrow. The New York Liberty travel to Indiana to take on Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Wimbledon coverage on all weekend long on ABC and ESPN. I believe we will know the quarterfinals by the time we reconvene on Monday. I don't know. I'm not as plugged into Wimbledon as I used to be. NBA. There's a little NBA on tomorrow, 3:30 ESPN. It is the Summer League, but not the Summer League there's more NBA Summer League than there's ever been before, apparently. Now, we normally, when we say Summer League, it's the one in Vegas. That gets going in like 10 days or something like that. This is the California Classic, which I'm sure both the Jacobs, who are guests on our show, Bigelow and Padilla, are yelling at their radios right now. You idiot, Josh. Of course, the California Classic has been played for 40 years. It's a rite of passage in the NBA. First time hearing of it. So, but what it is Bronny James's Lakers debut, so to speak. Lakers will play Sacramento Kings 2. So it's like a split squad game but in the NBA, like this is Kings 2, whatever. Kings seem to be the only team broken up into 2 teams. But Bronny James will be playing basketball on TV, which is why I bring that to everyone here today. One movie to recommend this weekend. Peacock has the premiere of Back to Black. It was in theaters. Now it's on Peacock. Amy Winehouse biopic about the British pop singer's rise to fame and life struggles. This is one of those movies that got a 34% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score is like 86, almost 90% for this. So this is one of those movies that, quote unquote, regular people like, and the critics do not. So that is what we are watching this weekend. We hand the baton to Josh Peterson, John Bishop, who I believe did not come into the building, either of them. So I get the most credit today for working because I did 2 jobs by myself in the building. So I get to be the 1620 The Zone hardest worker in the room today because I'm the only one in the room. We hand it off to Unsportsmanlike Conduct. They will be doing their hashtag Topic Alert Marathon next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win, no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no points